to Flory Models Live. Here we are with you Saturday night at 7 o'clock on the 23rd of May 2020, and somebody's got their bing bing on for the
sorry, that's me.
Is it? Oh, see, John, one job. Anyway, we trust you're all doing very well this evening. A little bit different type of show for us. We tend to be extremely casual and talk about pretty much anything. We try and do some modelling. You'll see a lot of top-down camera views and things like that as well. And I've just found a really important part which I'll need. So that's quite handy. I've just done this. Let me pop that in there. I need that bit and I was looking for it earlier. Anyway, so yes, that's the plan for this evening. Usual thing, if you've got any questions, stuff like that, please post up. If you don't answer straight away, just ask it again and we'll catch it at some point. I am going to make a few changes, I think, next week to the way questions are asked from members and get them to post it in the forum. And one of us, or probably I will, I'll watch the forum live. That way we can't lose questions then. I was just thinking it might be easier, and then that way they don't get bounced either. So just post them up on the thread. I'm going to do a thing all next week about it, so we don't get this problem with questions being missed by members and stuff like that, and things overlooked and that, because obviously it's not deliberate. It's just one of those things that happens. And I think if we use proper questions you've got, you know, bang them in the forum, and then they're there forevermore. They don't go anywhere, and then that way, even if we miss them on a particular show, we can go back and just look at it again and stuff like that. It's something I will sort out next week. I will get it sorted, put up, and then you can put your questions in there. If it's general chit chat, stick it in live chat. But if you've got a proper question you want, you know, a half sensible answer, then I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Don't you agree, guys?
Yeah, because it's definitely frustrating for us as much as it is for them.
Yes. So I think that's probably just the easiest way. So proper question, not tonight, because as I say, it's totally partial tonight. But going forward, I think next week, if you've got a proper question for members especially, post them in the forum, and then that way we can just read them and it's not moving around. It's quite straightforward. And also we can, well, confirm we've read out your question and we've answered it to the best of our abilities and stuff like that. And also it'd be quite handy for some questions we can't answer, like when I'm doing a show on my own, or if it's just me and Matt or some of the guys on, or perhaps Nathan's not on that day, or if we need some info from, you know, Andy or John, we can save the question and ask them when they're on next time and stuff like that. And I think it'd just be a lot easier for us to do that one. So that is the plan with that one. Anyway, trust everyone's all well. You guys were down at PM Towers this morning. Well, today. How was it?
It was breezy.
It was a bit windy, even down here. It's been incredibly windy.
We
But
had
yes.
a good day, mate.
Yeah, good day, yeah.
Good day. Andy sent out how many emails?
Hundreds. Literally, hundreds.
Yes. I've got a little something from you guys. I'll open it at 7:30.
List.
Oh, sorry. Matt's gone laggy for some reason. Has someone started watching something on Netflix at his house?
He's froze on my screen.
He has. He's froze on mine as well. And this hasn't happened for weeks. And I tell you what it is. If somebody's just started watching Netflix, it'll buffer and he's had it. So give Matt a minute and he'll come back.
I went through the part on the site where you can email people if they've put their name down for, you know, something that's come back into stock. And we went through a lot of stuff today, put it all back into stock. So I just pressed email everybody, and I must have sent out 130 emails all in one go.
Yeah.
To people, and then all of a sudden, then the phone, well, both our phones then started pinging with people, then putting orders in.
Well, that's the way. Again, if you don't know how the system works, it's the same on the Flory model site and the PM one. If you're interested in an item, you don't have to buy it. It's not like you're then pinned into it. We won't take any payments then, but what you can do is pop your email address down, and when it comes back in stock, so like we know you've restocked all the thinners today and stuff like that, haven't you? Those ones, you know, you pop your name down, we'll send you an email to say it's back in stock with a link, and you can just click on it and go straight back and buy it and do it that way. So it's just a quick and easy way of getting stock back out to you and stuff like that. So lots of things in there. Sorry, I'm just moving through the chats. Matt will probably come back in a minute when he stops buffering, but I reckon somebody's watching something on Netflix at his house.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens.
A quickie, Phil. One thing we did put back into stock, I'm just checking to see if they've any gone now. We put a couple of Hinds back into stock.
Right.
Am I back?
Yes, you are back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened then. That just
I'll tell you what that is. If somebody starts watching Netflix in your house, it buffers immediately and it steals your signal.
I don't know what that was. But yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix. Go on, sorry.
We put a few hinds back into stock.
Hold on, let
But
me go
also, then we
store.
notified people that they were back in stock, and there was quite a few people that had pre-wished them. So
Yes.
if anybody does want one, I'd get one quick because
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
yeah,
Ooh,
they won't
ooh.
stay in the shop very long.
Hey, Andy, show him. Show him.
So all the things, yeah, I can't share screen because Phil's not got it set up.
What do you need to do?
Show you the pictures of the
Super duper cockpit.
cockpit.
Right, hold on, because hold on, give us a minute. I might be able to. Hold on, I just need to work out where you are. Yes, I can do. Go on. If you do it, I will.
Let me just cue my pictures up before so I don't get any family pictures showing up.
Well, not again. Might do that will improve the viewing figures, but I'll get demonetised.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we're I'm ready with them.
Yeah, go on.
So this is the Quinta.
Yeah, hold on, we're
Yeah.
not seeing it yet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's you need to share.
The Quinta interior decals for this is for the 48th MI-24,
Right.
and they are stunning. So I just went through and took a load of pictures of them.
Very
The
nice.
colour shows up slightly different on the monitors. In real life, they are really, really nice colour.
Mm-hmm.
And they're weird because I expected them to be like a resin material, so they were hard and brittle, but they're not. They're sort of like quite pliable. So, for example, the seat belts will bend into shape a bit as you're using them.
Very nice.
But yeah, I say they can look a bit grainy on the photos, but they don't in real life. They look fantastic. So I just basically went through and took loads and loads of photos of them, trying to show the detail. But
To be fair, that is like super close up.
yeah, very, very.
Oh yeah, the thing is you are right in there, that's the thing. So it's
I mean,
going to be a
that
little bit.
screen there is probably less than a centimetre across, centimetre square.
Yeah.
Yeah, the detail in it was, it's absolutely fantastic. And I also tried to get some more 3D shots to try and show, what you get with the, sort of like the dials are sort of like, they're all nice, that everything's like,
So you've got sort of raised bezels on the dials as well as, to give it a very 3D. So it's not flat like your traditional colour photo etch.
Yeah, and all the dials have got like a gloss
Yeah.
finish to them. Yeah, they look fantastic. Very impressed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Not cheap. Took a while to come, but so they are. I'll stop sharing that.
There you go.
They're definitely worth. They're worth the money. Yeah, obviously you're paying a lot of postage because they're coming from Russia. But they're definitely worth it, and I think they'll add a lot to the cockpit. And well, they've got to add a lot to the cockpit because there's not a lot in there, is there, in the real one? So in the Zvezda kit. So, but yeah, fantastic.
Just to confirm a minute, you were saying you don't get the door cards though, do you? For the 48,
no,
but
on
you
the
do for the 72nd.
Yeah, it's weird. The 72nd you get the door cards. I don't know whether or not the detail's better on the 32nd on the door cards than it is on the 72nd ones. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, it's sure like you get the black leather sort of like coverings that go on the inside of the doors on the 72nd one, but you don't get it on the 48th one. It's strange.
Very strange. Very, very strange. As for me today, I must admit, look. Dun, dun, dun. We have a very nice B-17, which I have to say, I know a lot's been said about the wings not fitting. They ain't even glued. And they are on beautifully. So's the tail, no problem at all. Just generally really nice fitting altogether. The top's glued on as well now, so that's really nice. To be honest, it does need a little bit of sanding and blending. I'll show you on an overhead. Oh, Christ, where's my cameras today? We are literally all over the place today, so apologies. Where are we? We've got, hold on, let's go for a bit closer. There we go. So tails, and they're not even glued, which is great. We were saying we've got wings and things are all on, but obviously on the fuselage bits, Hold on, if I go, well, I don't know if I'm under me or you. Oh no, it is me. But you can say I've still got to do a bit of clean up all along here. But gap wise, the funny thing is, and I still don't know how this has quite happened, but do you remember we had quite a large gap at the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't anymore, but I don't understand where it's gone because the front's still in. But that back gap seems to have disappeared somewhere between me gluing it on. But actually, this is one of those really, really strange things. It seems to have just gone as it's properly buried down. So as this has all been pushed down, and said I started here. No, I didn't. I started here. And I worked my way literally round in a circuit back to here, gluing it. So it was about 3 hours there. Next 3 hours I did along to about the midsection. Then we did down there. Then we came down the other side here. And gluing it all down, and then we just got back to here and it's like, well, where's that big gap? I was expecting to put in, to be honest, a bit of 1/2 mil plasticard in there, and I was going to glue it in place last night, and then today I was going to come in and chop it off, but actually it's pretty much gone. There is a gap and it is going to need a little bit of filler, but I was expecting it to be a hell of a lot worse than it actually was. But it is going to need a little bit of a tidy up around there, but it's not as bad as actually I thought it was going to be. So from that point of view, it's all pretty nicely done, so I'm happy with how that's got on. She's in there, nice and good. It's looking very mean and B17-esque now, which is quite nice. Yeah. And I must admit, I test fitted all the glass into it again just to make sure, and it all fits still perfectly with no gaps or anything else like that. So again, it's one of those ones where it's like, you know, that is very, very nice. It's not like it's gonna come back and have fit issues afterwards and various things like that. So generally though, she's in, she's looking really good. Very, very nice. She's quite a lump, I must admit. I know I've seen the 48th, the 32nd one at the shows and that is a massive lump, but that's a big enough lump on its own. So really very, very nice. But I have to say, it's been a fantastic little kit. So that's what I was messing around with last night and a little bit this morning. Kept me out of trouble. The other thing just to mention as well, I've had loads of people asking me about Dark Dirt Wash. When's it going to be back in stock and all the rest of it? Yeah. It's out of stock. I'm expecting to get a delivery in the end of next week. It's due in on the 29th, which is Friday. If it arrives or not, because it comes from outside the UK, I'm not even sure. So I'm still being told it's fine. It'll be in. It's due in on the 29th. If it turns up or not is a different matter. Originally, I was told it's supposed to be before this weekend, and it hasn't turned up. Now I've been told it'll be the end of next week. But again, I don't know. You're going to have to allow a few days for it to go into soak and be made up, bottled and prepared and stuff like that. So that's where we are at the moment with that one. But I seem to have a bit of a plethora of emails overnight and today, people asking about Dark Dirt, when will it be back in stock? It's COVID. It's just one of those things we have to sort of put up with at the moment.
I'm sure when I looked, we had about 20 people wanting notifications.
Yeah, I've got a load and all. So, but again, it's just one of those things, guys. There's nothing I can physically do about it. It is purely down to you know, the pigment is the main problem. Clay, not so much, but the pigment's definitely one. But also is like plastic bottles and lids and everything else. At the moment, we're okay. We've still got around about 2,000 bottles sat here, which I'm using other colours with it as well and everything else. But it's starting to get a bit squeaky with everything coming together because it's just things aren't coming through at the moment. So watch this space, it'll be fine, it'll get there. And for people asking about it, obviously you can mix the colours together. So a few people have said about using brown and black. Yeah, you can just mix them together. That'll get very, very close to it, but it is its own colour. You know, it is that colour that it was done and it's manufactured, the pigment's manufactured for us in that colour. So it's not going to be a perfect match, but it'll get you in the ballpark. And if so, grime isn't that far off, especially for armour guys. We've got loads of grime. Grime's pretty close to it. It's just, again, you might want to darken it up with a little bit of black. Got plenty of black, so that's not a problem. So yeah, speaking of which, did you get them today?
No.
No?
Yeah.
It's amazing how you send me stuff and I get it literally next day. I send you stuff and it arrives whenever.
Yeah, no, probably a Tuesday now, but yeah, no, it's not turned up today.
Oh, right.
So, well, this is not sent anyway, so I presume not. Just going on to the B17.
Yes.
If you go into the sales bit, we have a little sale on today.
Oh, hold on then.
And some.
Where are we? Special offers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh,
And,
look. Very nice.
For For today, tomorrow only.
There you go. Grab yourself a
Grab
B17.
And also
yeah.
the
To be honest, I'm more. I tell you what. You know, this is the thing. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we've discounted it, so it is 130 quid. I paid. I remember 79.99 for mine new. Back in the day, yeah. I must admit, I built a few of them now. But when that kit got first released, it was an 80 quid kit. Then I remember it going up to 95, and then so forth and so on. It's been gradually going up. But people talk about kit prices, and you know, but they do go up, and that's a classic example of how they go up when that was originally released. You know, I don't know how many years ago that would have been. Probably over 10 years old now, that kit. But it just shows how that's crept up in value all the time.
Yeah.
lost its exchange rate, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But it's still a great kit. Beautiful kit. Very nice. Straight out of the box. You know, it's just an absolutely fantastic kit to work on. Built a few of them now, and it never ceases to amaze me how nice that kit is.
There we go.
So, yes. Anyway, John, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What have you been doing?
Pottering around the Kafirs all primed up now. I'm going to leave that now till tomorrow though, because I've learnt my lesson with the attacker paints. I let everything dry thoroughly before I move on to the next stage to avoid the peel. But I've painted up the tanks, and I've been doing all the little bits and bobs, wheels, engine and everything. So I've got back into it now because I'd lost my way with it a little bit, but now it's all primed up and ready to go. It's yeah, I want to get back and get finishing it now.
Very nice. Yeah, we're good on that one. Has Andy finished his yet?
No, I had a problem last night.
Oh yeah, a big one.
Big problem. Do you know, I don't even know what I've done with them. Probably chucked them in the bin. Oh no, they're here. If I just go onto my overhead camera, I believe it's that one. Right. My decals, I don't know if you can see that, it's completely out of register.
Hmm.
And also the pin flashes are all out of register. Really, really bad. As bad as I've seen for a long, long time, they are.
Yeah.
So I was on with Nathan and Matt last night, and Nathan, being Nathan, happens to have some decals with Venezuelan, Ecuadorian decals in it. So
Right.
he bought them to the shop for me today. So I've got some decals to redo it. They are under there somewhere.
I think
yeah.
that's the one letdown with AMK kits is the decals, because the 48 ones I've got, they're not out of register, but they're thick. The carrier film is massive on them. They're not brilliant.
I must admit, having never done one, I can't really comment on their decals.
They're rubbish.
I know when I did the Delphin, they were that thick. It was a nightmare trying to get them to sit properly. I ended up using Tamiya extra thin
Yeah.
to get them to sit down properly.
What have we got down in here? The guys talk about my B17 being painted the wrong colour and everything else. See above. Sorry, I'm just seeing if there's any questions down in here. If anyone's got any long questions, if you can post them up in the forum under today's bit, it will be easy as like we were trying to read. If I bring that up on my other screen here, and then we've got it. So like obviously where you can watch the show in the forum. So if I quickly show them, hold on, where are we? It's which one is it? Oh god, this is all our arse about. There it is. Okay, so if you're in here, okay, and you go up the top here, and then click across. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Go to the very top folder. Oh god, come on, it's on the right old moan here. Okay, okay, there we go. Go to daily vloggy bits here, and then post it up under live show for Saturday. So if you post it in there, Okay, any of your questions in here, guys? And then you can still watch it in here, don't forget. You can click in there and watch it in there. But if you post them down here, I'll keep an eye on this. And then we can answer any questions and do it that way. So just stick them in there and say we'll get a proper area all set up next week. And we'll go through the motions on that one.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys has said that he thought that B-17s were silver on the interior, but like you mentioned when you were doing it before, that it depends on which one you're doing, doesn't it? I mean,
it does.
You know,
technically, the easiest way is just to put the record straight here. From the factory, World War II, the B-17s were painted internal green colours up to this bulkhead here, behind the actual wireless operators. The rest of it was just aluminium. Okay, so that is the difference, all right? And if you want to be really pedantic, and to the idiot who was calling me out saying the cockpit floor's the wrong colour because it was only wood in the middle, that's because you can't see it. So I was never going to do the side bits aluminium of the actual cockpit where the floor is. You know the bit we was on about in the build? I just did the entire floor because it's got walls that go in the way. Yes, of course it would have been aluminium in there, but honestly, I'm not going to mess around with that because can you see it? You know, it's as simple as that. But technically, they were all green right up to this bulkhead. The rest of it is just alley. They never painted the back. But all of the ones post inspections and things like that that were then pulled apart and had turret work done. A lot of these had, this is the old one there, I think it's a Cheyenne turret, is it? On the rear, where they unbolted this area, took it off, put the new one on. They did paint them internally at the same time, so some of them had it if they'd have the change. But again, the thing was, most B-17s in World War II had the life expectancy of not very long at all, so none of them really made it back. And in theory, if you want to go to this real aircraft, she was scrapped as well, because she got actually, well, had a bit of a flak damage in 44, then apparently she survived that, made it back, and then she basically stuffed the nose in the ground on landing, and it was pilot error. As well, so yeah, it's had a productive life, and then it got scrapped at the airfield, so it's a bit like whatever with these things. So yes, and no chute in the ball fill. Well, they didn't have a parachute in there. How could they fit one in unless you were proper skinny? And I haven't put one in because I haven't done the ball turret yet anyway, so that's it. But everyone's now turned into an instant expert on this, and I'm getting called out left, right, and it's like, that's the thing. Don't forget, this technically is the 2020 Warbird version that's on the show circuit, which one day, if I make enough millions of squillions of pounds, I'll buy one and paint it in these colours, and it'll be the Flory team's personal transport, because I think that'd be quite cool to do air shows.
Oh, I have to put Telford in that.
Yeah, that's it. We'd have it Telford, we'd have it absolutely everywhere. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what, shall I do my unboxing now?
Yeah, do your unboxing.
What's in it? Am I going to get covered in crap like you usually do to me?
Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Oh, right, okay. So,
No, I don't think it's that bad actually.
oh. Right. If you order from Kia Models, you should end up with, oh, that's very good. You've got a protective bit in. So, you're okay, everyone. I have bleached this beforehand for COVID-19. These are nice boxes. They're stronger than the old ones.
Yeah, that's the new boxes we get.
they triple ward ones, are they?
Double
They're
skin.
very nice, very thick. Right, okay, so in one we have the Alpha Jet. I used to have one of these. Is this John's Alpha Jet, is it?
Yeah.
With John's decals?
Show them the decals. Show everybody the decals.
Right, hold on, I will. I'll get them under the big camera. And we have, is there anything else in it?
No?
Feels really heavy, this thing. This Challenger is proper heavy. So we have down in here, hold on, where's the overhead? There's the overhead. So we have the Challenger 2 TESS. What's TESS stand for?
Oh, okay. Something oh god, yeah.
Come on, Andy, you should
I'll
put this.
Google it. Yeah.
Anyway, should we have a quick skibby in the box, people?
No.
Oh, too late. I've opened the lid. Oh.
Data entry standard.
I didn't realise it came with the bar armour.
I don't know what it comes with. I got a clue.
It has. It's got the full photo etch bar armour set on the back. Or is this something because...
That's the adult grade set.
Right, okay.
That's your
All right.
set.
That doesn't
Okay.
come with it.
Oh, is this the one from Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, right, got you. Fair enough.
That's the sample one.
Right, okay, so scrap what you see on this, people. It might be slightly different. Yours at home might vary. I will confirm and everything before we do the review.
That's the upgrade set.
Right, okay. Looks very nice. Nice if you like your photo edge wrap
People
around
have asked
armour.
how much the upgrade set is. I think it's somewhere around the £17-18 mark.
Must admit, it's proper heavy. He's got a lot in it, whatever's in there. And we've also got a load of photo etch anyway. We have a small correction sheet by the looks of it.
Of course you have.
Only a couple of things. Ooh. The only other Challenger I've ever built has been the Tamiya one, so it's certainly a stuffed box. I have to say that's proper. I know we've been talking about boxes recently, but that's proper loaded. That is, especially if you get that in it as well. Look at that. Very posh. Right. Well, you're all going to have to wait for the review of that next week. I'll do that. I'll be on it like Sonic on Tuesday.
And all being well, they're going to be in next week as well. They're due in next week. So
Cool.
that'll be good. So your review might coincide with me actually getting some in.
So I'm wondering if you, because down here it's showing that bar armour here as well. I will confirm all this, peeps, but it looks like you can either have it in plastic or in photo etch. So you do get both of them off it. Do we know what test is then, Andy?
Yeah, it's the. I just said it where you were. It's the data entry standard.
Oh, right. Okie dokie. Very
It's
nice.
like the latest upgrade. Also nicknamed the Megatron.
Megatron, that's it.
Megatron. Can't go wrong with a bit of Decepticons.
Latest generation of British main battle tank.
Very nice. I have to say, that's a really heavy, heavy box. That's got to weigh pretty near a kilo, I would have thought, if not more. Right, so we've got that. And then, well, we've all seen an Alpha yet. I've done a review of that somewhere or other. I must admit, John, I've always fancied doing that kit. Never done it, but I've always fancied it. That's why I had it in my stash for years. But,
Yeah, well, I have as well, but now they're getting me into the Luftwaffe SIG stuff. I thought, well, that'd be nice in German markings.
it is.
And match all those nice...
Easy to paint schemes.
No problem for John then.
Actually, I don't think it will be too much of a problem. I think
Yeah, I'm liking the top one. Liking.
Very nice. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Where's that? Oh God, we're all over the place. Here we go. Me. Don't know which one on what camera I'm on tonight. We've got so many cameras on the go. There we go. Here it is. That looks nice, that.
Yeah, it
Oh.
does.
I don't know, the yellow one looks quite nice.
The what?
Because you've got the one with the yellow
Middle
bar and
yellow,
that. But
yeah.
it's quite nice because that one's obviously... You've got two types of German flag, isn't it? Obviously running down the wing, or you've got it like sort of stripes running across the wing. Don't know, John. Nice. Look at that. Got your
They do
micro set
another
yourself.
nice set as well, which has got a nice tiger marking scheme in it as well.
Let's have a look inside. We like decals.
The only thing with the wingman wing ones is they're quite expensive, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
But they look nice, I have to say. I like the way it says it's in... I think that's probably a typo. I should... Oh no, it is. Sorry, it's my reading's bad. Incorporation with kinetic. Yeah. So, hold on, where are we? Ooh, yeah, see that yellow, look at that. That's a good one. Nice decal on the bottom. You could do that in flight, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm in an R whether to do it.
Ooh, look. Nice little reference photos. Look at that. That's quite sweet, that.
They do nice schemes, don't they, the Germans?
They do. You can't actually. I always say, isn't it? If you want to see decent schemes, I know the American stuff do some nice ones, especially the Navy. But German schemes, they do really do some good schemes for the tiger meats, especially and stuff like that. But just general as well. Really, very, very nice that is.
That's what I said the other night. I wonder what they're going to be like with the F-18s when they get them.
Yeah, or if they do. Apparently, the Workers' Partners Union's up in arms about it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yes, very cool, John. You'll have a lot of fun with that one, I'm sure. Something very, very pretty about it.
I think the poor man's.
Sorry?
I said the elf rejects the poor man's hawk. But don't tell anybody I said that, alright?
No, no one will know. You've
No.
just upset all the French and German people.
Quite a few countries
I've already
used
missed.
it.
You are?
Quite a few countries used it.
I know. To be honest, I like it. I think it's a nice looking aircraft.
Yes. Typical Italian boxing, though, it's crap. It's the box of pancake.
What? Oh, kinetic thing.
Kinetic,
Crap
sorry, boxes, yeah. Right, okay, guys are putting questions in the chat, which makes on the forums, makes things a lot easier.
Oh, there.
Phil, are you going to read out the negative message a comment still had? Could do with a giggle. No, I'm not. I must admit, loads of people have said to me, honestly, don't, because you will just stir up a shitstorm like last time. And whilst I do enjoy causing chaos occasionally, I'm trying to be good. So I will save them, and I think what I'll do is I will do some of the funny ones, but just the hate ones we'll just leave to one side because they're a little bit off. But I will sort them out. I'll go through them and get them arranged in some semblance of order of the funny ones, perhaps. So
Yeah, if they've been creative trolling.
yeah, because some of them actually genuinely are quite funny. You know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're not so bad, are they? If it's just being a knob,
Yeah.
then we're not. But I think the creative ones, yeah, like I say, some of them can be amusing.
Yes, they can definitely.
So yeah, if you are gonna troll us, be creative.
Yeah, come up with something original as well.
Yeah.
Tony says, hi Phil, after watching your show, this is so much easier, this is lovely. After watching your show on YouTube for some time now, I've joined up yesterday and struggling with how to post and ask questions in the correct sections. I've been using your advice on 132nd military aircraft reweathering. Currently building the Revell 172nd Type 1XC/40. I don't know what one of those is. Anyone know what one of those is?
I have no idea.
What?
Andy, what's a 1XC/40?
It is a submarine.
Oh, it's submarine. There you go. Crikey, that'd be big again if it's 72nd.
Everybody knows that. Submarine.
Crikey. For a bit of a change, we would like some advice on weathering the decks as it has planked effect. I can't find a tutorial on the site that covers this, though your wash is very thin with dark green. I tell you what you want to do is go off and look at Stefan's stuff, because Stefan is our ship modelling guru.
Has Steph not built?
I don't think he's done a sub, has he? Not like that. But he's done lots of ships.
He built the 48.
He built the
No,
14th one, yeah.
Yeah, the U-boat.
Yeah.
One he built. Cracking job.
So yeah, what I'll do is I will link some of this stuff to you, Tony, along with our help videos on how to get working on the site and everything else like that. So give me a bit of time. I'll do it during the show when we're a bit quieter, and I'll quote you and then link all the stuff for you. And you can see about it, because to be honest, Stefan does amazing work with ships, and he's done some great walkthroughs, photo walkthroughs and things like that on how he does everything. So I will link you into him. Darren says, Andy, please can you show your bare metal pack you have? I'm curious on how it looks. Andy, can you show us your bare metal pack? Have you got a bare metal pack there, Andy?
I wondered what you were going to say then. Andy, can you show your bear?
Right, stay there. I'm going to make Andy big screen because you guys have screwed up me bloody things again. Hold on, let me get Andy on big mode.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't either, so I'm hoping you did.
You had that bare metal out the other night, didn't you?
Oh, the bare metal foil. Sorry.
See, look, you could have asked me that. I've got about 10 packs behind me. But oh no. There you go.
Bare metal foil. They do it in lots of different.
Yeah, you got
flavors.
normal aluminium. They do like white aluminium, all different colours. And that I was using it yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, so they are. The car people use them quite a lot for doing bumpers and things, and the trims round.
Yeah.
Yeah, round windows and stuff. Yeah, they are very.
People use it as well for masking.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It just basically comes in on a sheet like that, except without the cutouts. And it's just very, very thin metal foil.
Yeah.
And it's sticky and yeah, goes down really smooth. It's a useful thing to have. I mean, I don't use it much, but yeah, it is a useful thing to have in your arsenal. And yeah. I think that we were saying the other day though, it's now better metallic paints have come out. It's probably not as used as much as it used to be.
No. So back in the day, before metallizers really got their act together and started to work, that was, I think, what I've used it loads of times in the past on airliners and stuff, like we were saying before, because I couldn't never do metal work, so it was easier to use that. And it's really good stuff. And I tell you what, it's very good for if you're doing something that's got very fine detail. B17 would be a classic example. When you rub it down, this stuff goes into all the details and absolutely everything, but it will bite you, because if you've got any dodgy seams, if you've got any fingerprints on it or anything else like that, it will show. So if you've got glue marks of any shape, form or anything, or any divots, it literally will mirror whatever's on the plastic. So you do need to make sure you're perfect before you put that stuff on. So pretty much like all metallizer finishes anyway.
I have also got somewhere some aluminium tape that they use for, I think it's for cooker installations and things like that, yeah, for doing ducting and stuff. And that's quite thin, and it is also useful, but it's not as thin as bare metal foil.
Oh no, bare metal foil is really thin. I think bare metal foil is even thinner than normal aluminium foil for your kitchen.
Yeah,
That's proper thin stuff.
Yeah. And again, I've seen people use aluminium foil, normal aluminium foil, and obviously spray spray adhesive on the back of it when they're using it. But I've seen them also boil it in water with other things in it, like vinegar and things, to get different hues and different textures on the. So when they put it down, it's not all the same plain finish. But yeah,
Eggshell.
eggshells.
Well, eggshell.
Yeah.
It tarnishes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Adds different hues to it, doesn't it? And just makes it look different. Or you could spray it with the metal paint and then use some oils.
But yeah, as Strex, I've got a load of it as well. There is full instructions. I can't remember, there was a sheet, but I don't know if I've still got it.
Yeah, I've got a sheet in mine.
I don't know if there's an instruction sheet though, isn't there? I think there is. Oh yeah, there it is. This one, I say that one hasn't, but this one still has it. But there you go, there's a full instruction sheet in there as well about how to use it.
Are they instructions on them?
Yeah. And like how to scribe it. So yeah, you got full instruction. Did you know all about it? And then obviously various things. And then yes, going through scribing over it, applications and everything else is all in there as well. To be honest, you just stick it down, but it is self-adhesive, so wherever you put it, it sticks, but you just rub it in. So if you use cotton buds and just give them a rub, you can get all your details, whatever it's going on to will show through. It's really good stuff.
Can also say, being the typical man, I've never read the instructions.
No. But how is that? Is that John?
Yeah, sorry, just stirring some paint.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Sorry, make sure you're all right.
Wait.
Phone an ambulance. Question. If you mix gloss with matte 50-50, will you get a satin one? Vallejo varnishes, for example. Pretty much. Yeah, that will do the trick.
Yeah.
You know, it's all it is. Don't forget, it's like cider, as John would say. You get your sweet and you get your, what do they call the other one? Sweet, sour? It's not sour. What do they call it, John?
Dry.
Dry, that's it. And if you order, if you ever go to where me and John go and you say, can I have a medium? All they do is fill up your flagon half with sweet and half with dry. They don't actually have a medium barrel. So, yeah, that's how they do it. Exactly the same way. Look, perfect analogy, that one. Right. Hi all. I'm thinking about doing an AFV club model. What are your thoughts, experiences with the brand? Nice show, by the way.
I built one. You've got to be a little bit careful. They can be a bit finicky, but they're actually quite good. They're good kits. They're just some nice, decent subjects as well. And I think some of the subjects to do is obviously they're the only ones that do it. I think.
Absolutely, yeah. I've only ever built AFV aircraft. The only thing I would say is watch their ejector pins because they can be a bit flashy, and they can cause fit issues. And some of their plastic, literally, and again, I think it's a moulding type thing, can just be a little bit softly molded. So if you get areas that join together, always worth giving them a bit of a rub just to sharpen up the edges. They might be a little bit soft on the edges. So if you've got like two fuselage halves coming together, I tend just to sharpen them up a little bit as they come in, and it saves a bit of filler.
I built their Centurion. That was a really nice kit.
Yeah, suspension's a bit complicated on them sometimes, aren't they? But well detailed, but it's like, yeah, it can be overcomplicated in bits because there's like springs and things in there to make it fully working. But
yeah,
they're very good.
What's your suggestion on riveting fuselage wings and their halves, or complete fuselage and wings? It depends. To be honest with you, like, I'm going to rivet this thing, for instance, because I have to do it, clearly, because I am like Mr. Rosie the Riveter.
Sorry, I sods law that.
Yeah. Hold on 1 sec, we'll just let John finish charging. There we go. If he does it again, John, just mute yourself.
I'll mute a minute.
Alright, okay. But yeah, so if it's something flat like this, it might be an idea to rivet it as it is in situ. So with these, I'm going to clean up all these parts, get them all sorted. I've got cracks and various things in mine I need to deal with anyway. So we'll be doing all of that. And then what I'll probably end up doing is riveting it flat so it's down here. And then what I'll do is do tidy up work once it's together, because obviously you can't do round leading edges of wings and stuff like that. You're not going to have the ability to do that. So it will just be a case of, like, you know, do what you can now just because it's easier to rivet flat. Yeah, if you've got a wing in your hand, it's quite complicated to go through. Some things are easier than others, but big flat areas, then yeah. Other things you might think, well, it's probably easier just to do it in one. Like, for instance, like the B-17, I've got to re-rivet all the details on that, yeah, where we've obviously sanded and things and blended on the bottom and a little bit on the top. So it's easier to, you know, you're just going to wait till it's together because you've got to do those areas. The rest of it's absolutely fine. But if you're riveting from scratch, I think it just might be easier, just from a point of view of it rocking around and keeping it stuck to the ground, just doing it whilst before you go in there and doing it.
Good answer.
When doing a photo build, is it best to do one picture with a comment or just put all the pictures with one main comment? Thanks. It depends on how in depth you want to go with it. Obviously, I've always said the more info you guys can put up, the better. Because I've said before, the whole point of doing obviously photo builds that go along with SIGs and group builds especially, and standalone ones, is that you would hope in the future, you know, 20 years time or something, somebody might come along who's building that kit and they'll use you as a guide right the way through. So the most information you can put in there is great. But obviously some of you do amazing ones with proper photos, all the description, you'll be in there with arrows pointing at parts and pointing things out and highlighting bits on photos. That's obviously totally up to you. I just asked for you guys to get a little bit of general information. It's a bit like, you know, when we give away like the free medals and the bits and pieces we do for the group builds, it's my little thank you for you guys taking the time to do these types of things. And some of you are, to be honest, better than others at it. Some of you are really good at describing it and putting it down, and then some of you just do, you know, a basic photo build. But I still think that it is worthy of everyone, because it's just handy. Even just things like what colours, paints you've used, you know, what RLM colour you used on that particular one, or silvers and greys, and the usual questions we get all the time. You might see a model of it and think, you know what, I like that shade, that works for me, I'm going to do it in that one as well. So things like that. Others of you explain the ins and outs of the entire kit right the way through, you know. So, but again, it's really personal choice. There is no limit. There is no minimum to it as well. As long as you put a bit of effort in and take it, it's fine. So if you want to do one photo with a description, then another photo with a description, or if you just want to put up 4 or 5 photos with a general thing about how your build's coming along, if you're enjoying it, what you're using, things like that, then it's absolutely fine. If you look at other people's, then that'll give you an average as you're making your way through with it.
It should ideally be a thread to show the progression of your build, shouldn't it? Not just take photos of your build in it and then post them all up in one go. Yeah, so like you should be sort of like if you've done some work in one day, post a couple of pictures up. Another week or a couple of days, post a couple more pictures up. Yeah, rather than sort of like taking 50 pictures.
Yeah.
Posting them all up in one go. It should be a progression as you're building, as you're going along with your build. So then people can look at your build, see what you're doing, and then comment on it, or so like and say, "Oh, that's fantastic. How did you do that?" Or and comment. Say comment on your build as it's going along, rather than you just posting all the pictures up in one go of your build, and then then showing the end pictures. It's a progression thing, isn't it? As you're going along through your build throughout the weeks or months or whatever.
Definitely. Sorry Phil, probably me, but where's Steve's areas gone? Love you just chatting and modelling, by the way. Regards, Andy. We got rid of them all. I got rid of my area, we got rid of Steve's area and all the rest of it. They were being used really as sort of dumping grounds for comments and stuff, so that's why we changed them, well, just Christmas. They all went, so we got rid of them all the team areas went and everything else like that, so all our work and everything is just in the forum as normal now, because the threads were being hijacked and it wasn't quite what we intended it to be. So we basically put everything out into the various areas on the sites and then got rid of it all, so they all went. Toby says, having been out of the loop for a few years, where is your go-to place to hunt for decals? Currently looking for a 172nd Hurricane that served in 1945, but can't find anything definitive. Want to participate in the first SIG with the Bulge to Berlin. Personally, I must admit, I'm a bit of a Hanantz guy. I tend to look in Hanantz. Their search engine's terrible, though, I have to say. A classic example, put in there seated pilot into Hanantz. You think you would come up with all the Aries ones, and everybody's done a seated pilot. You come up with nothing. You put in pilot, you come up with all types of junk. It's pretty bad. But decals you can get away with. But it depends. If you're after a Hurricane, for instance, sometimes a standard Google search might return pretty much if you're after a specific aircraft with a tail number. So you can do it like that. That might be a way.
On Hanantz, also, if you look for a particular model, say if you're doing a Airfix Hurricane Mark 2C, that thing.
Yeah.
If you put that into the search in Hanantz, find that aircraft, and then you scroll down, you'll have the aircraft, but then you scroll down, it'll show all the options and also the decals for it. It's not a definitive list of everything that they do, but it'll have a decent list of the different decals that they have, and you sort of click on them, and you'll be able to see, whether or not there's, a 1945 Hurricane in the pack of decals that they come with. they normally list all of their own extra decal sheets for it, and there'll be others listed along with them as well. But probably the easiest way to find it is Hannon's.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Let me just try something with Matt a second, because I can see him working away, but we can't see him. Hold on.
Yeah, I think he's got his camera a bit.
It's all right. I can adjust him on the fly here.
So I'm trying to separate pieces of resin.
That's all right. I've got you here. It's all right. We'll get you in a bit like that. There we go. You're in a bit now. So yes, but again, sometimes a Google standard search works quite well, and again, then have a look from those places, and then obviously if you can come up with a kit or a sheet number that has them on, then you can just go off and look for your usual places that will do it. Sometimes that's the easiest way that I get around the problem. What does out of register mean? Andy, get your decals up. I'll put you on full screen.
And I'll tell you what, the other ones are almost as bad that I've got. And also they're different size, which isn't helping. Right. Let me get a pointer.
Get a pointer. Right, get right up to the camera. Go up to the camera. Stick it right up to it.
If you can see that, the blue and the red should be in the centre of the yellow.
Yes.
They're not. It's out of it. Looks like it's drunk.
Yes.
And also, if you can see the fin flashes, they're not square on the edges. So the blue and the red.
Can you stick your hand behind it, mate? It's just it. Have you got your camera locked on focus?
I'm not sure whether this one is or not.
Is it manual locked? Because it doesn't seem to be refocusing.
Because
it's crystal clear on your map from behind.
Right, just 1 second. I might have it.
Hold on. Take it off of autofocus. We'll try that.
1 second. Oh my god.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've got anything here that's out of register. Hold on. Andy just looks for it. Let me just see if I've got something that's out of register. Something really old and crappy.
I'll bring it. I can't take it down further, can I?
I don't think I've got anything out of register. That's the thing. I usually, if they're that bad, I would have chucked them. Let's just see if I've got something a bit here as well. A good example.
I think I've got it locked off in the Logitech software. And I've not got
That's it.
I've not got it set up to do it.
It's very rare you get out of register decals anymore.
No, I was going to say, that's the trouble, isn't it? I'm looking through here and I'm trying to find stuff and I'm thinking, these days, they're pretty good.
I've got excuse me. I've got another set here that might be easier to see, to be honest with you. Oh, sugar.
No,
Says.
do you know what? I just can't find any in mine. Ugh.
Right, I've got some more here, Phil. Might be easier to see the bigger.
Got something a bit bigger.
Yeah. Right, so can you see these ones here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the red printed out of register on the white.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not in the centre of the white.
Actually, Andy, go back down to the bigger roundels, the roundels at the bottom. You can see it on those bigger ones. If you look at the red there, you can see it looks like googly eyes.
Yeah. And actually, these are extra decals, and I emailed Hannons about it. And they said they looked through them all, and they're all like that.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic. So then I ended up having a look on eBay.
Yeah.
I found another set, and it showed you a picture of the ones, and they were okay.
The thing is, back in the day, they used to be really, really bad. Airfix were terrible for it. You know, some of their decals back in the day, literally, instead of being like that, they were like that. So you'd end up with one colour completely out, you know. And, you know, the way they work it, sort of more modern technique now, but they used to be like silk screen printed. So it used to be, you know, you put it down, you put the blue down, then they come down and put the next one. And what happened was, perhaps they come down with the red. When they put the red over, it's not in the right alignment, so it's slightly off. And then that's what it is. It causes a register issue. Say sometimes it's very mild, other times it's really bad. But it was more of a thing from the 70s and 80s than it is now modern. It's very rare you get it to be that far out where it's a real problem, but sometimes you still get it.
The problem I've got now, though, is if we can just go back on to me, is that's the one from the kit, which is out of register.
Yeah.
These are the ones that Nathan's given me, which are also 72nd, which are also slightly out of register, but not as bad. But they're nowhere near the same size.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a thing, isn't it?
So I think I'm just going to have to go with the out of register kit ones.
Uh-huh.
That's quite what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, isn't it? There's different sizes. So yeah, you either bite the bullet one place or the other, isn't it?
Yeah, but I say even the ones that the small ones are still slightly out. I don't know. No, they're not as bad as the kit ones. I wouldn't go with the small ones, I think.
Yeah.
At least with that scheme, Andy, only one of them's on the top wing.
Yes, true.
They have one on top, one on bottom, don't they?
Yeah.
Hi guys, a couple of questions if that's okay. Having Sawfield's review, I'm intending on building Airfix's 172nd B17G, Sally B from Duxford. I'm wondering if there was any recommendations for aftermarkets that you think it needs. I don't intend to go crazy with the interior, as it won't be seen anyway, but considering having the cowling off to have one of the engines exposed. Secondly, is there any way to purchase Flory Models mugs in the background there? Love to buy one. Starting with Sally B, there is some aftermarket available. Hannants do quite, for people who don't know, let me just have a quick hunt for it, make sure we're not in the other mode. No, I think we're okay. 17G. Hannants have quite a, if you can ever get it to work.
There is some new resin engines that just come out for it, Phil, not the expensive ones.
Yeah, I did see those ones, because they do ones for the Hong Kong models ones as well now.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh right, we were talking 72nd on this one though, weren't we?
Oh, sorry, right, sorry.
Yeah, I think he was saying 72nd. Yeah, 72nd. Yeah, I did see those the other day actually.
Yeah, because I've asked Matt to order me some.
I must admit, I have put a mask set in our account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did succumb yesterday. I stuck it in there last night. So what you do, hold on, I'm just, as I say, Hannant's search thing. Let's say that there's probably better out there.
I think they've got worse.
It does seem to have got worse over time. So what you can do is, eventually, if you can get it to work, I'm only after the freaking kit. Where's the kit?
It's not available anymore. It's discontinued.
Yeah, but they'd still have it listed, won't they? But out of stock, knowing them.
No, it's gone
Oh,
off the site.
pants.
Um,
That's ruined my theory to this now.
well, what he needs, is a mask set. For a start.
Have a look on scale mates.
Or scale mate it, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
scale.
they'll have the kit on there, and then they'll show all the aftermarket, won't they?
Right, hold on, this is taking the proverbial a little bit. Let me just do this. And then we're just going to go for... Right, hold on, there we need to find that. Got to be a version of it. Ah, there's one. So, there we have it. Okay. Yeah, it is. They're showing it as out of stock. Okay. So, what you do, you just pop along to here. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. That one. Go into Hannant's website. Okay. Bring up the kit you want and say scale makes work time. And then underneath here, you've got all the aftermarkets available for it. So then you can just then make your decisions on what you think it actually needs. Again, I don't think you need anything internally because you're not going to see it. I would highly recommend those though, which are the master barrels for it, because I've got them for mine. Okay, you say you got the engines as well. So there, if you wanted to take the cowlings off, you want the engines, you're definitely going to need that. So you could go in there, and then obviously you've got other stuff as well, and then decals and all the rest of it, and it goes on forever down there. But it's quite a quick and easy way to work out what's available, because to be honest, it's exactly what I did for mine. I just came in here, went through it all and thought there's no point doing that, probably going to have a go at that, don't need that, and away you go. So you've got various photo etch sets and stuff like that. There we go, engines and propeller sets, you've got those if you wanted to do it that way, you know, and right the way through. So yeah, that's your sort of offers for it, and the quickest way to find it. And like John says, your other option of course is scale mate it and go through, and then you've got all the various things to it as well, so that can be quite a good way of doing it. Secondly, is there a way to purchase the Flory mug in the background? I'd love to buy one. No, they are a limited edition that we do every year now. So obviously we got this year's one because it's got 2020 on it. We'll be doing basically a thing. I get them in, we do like a pre-order. You don't have to pay, but we do a pre-order up front, and then once we've done it and it's been opened for a month in November, we usually get them all in and they all get sent out in December, and it's purely for members only. So it's a little bit thing for the members. But yes, this is this year's. So it has the black interior, it's got the 2020 on the bottom. And then obviously next year will be a different Flory girl. So I think you're going to get the wash one. And it'll be 2021, and we'll probably do a different colour as well. So they'll be different every year. So you can, over the years, collect the set. And then you've got Andy who'll be on the front in 2035. That's it. He'll be there. Nipple tassels and everything.
Just quickly, Phil. Phil's asked, do you know what's in the big Ed set 2 for the HK B17? There's no picture or description on the side.
The big sets normally have everything. So you'll get, usually the interior sets are all in there, you'll get the exterior sets, you get the mask sets, and it's all in one big one, and it costs a fortune normally. But again, I think with that one you'll get the flight deck photo etch set, you'll get the front end, because they do the navigators and the bombardiers photo etch set, they do the wireless operators photo etch set, and then I think they do a generic overall ones, and you get ones for the engines and the bits and pieces like that. So yes.
By the looks of it, they might actually do 2 big Ed sets for it. I can't see the second one. It says on the first one, Big Ed set Flying Fortress Part 1.
Yeah.
I can't see Part 2 anywhere. More lovely photo etch for you to...
Again, it's one of those, there's loads of different sets for it, because when I was looking, I must admit, I'd do a ton of photo etch for it. But again, how much you're really going to see, especially internally. Externally, if you're on about just doing things like the engines, like we were saying, then honestly, I think the resin engines will probably be a bit of a must for it, even because of the Airfix ones. You know, they're nice, but there's no real detail to them. So if you want to have the cowls all off a bit with the engine exposed, then you can do it that way. I think all of them come with 4 though. You don't think you just buy like one and just do one engine. So you have to bite the bullet with them all. And I think that's really all it needs from that point of view, especially in that scale. I don't think it's going to need a ton of other stuff.
Yeah, I can see I know what's in the set 1, Phil. I can't see the set 2 on Hannon's.
All right.
So, but he said no.
Quick question just to answer, because I must admit I saw it pop up in here. Nathan's just messaged me to remind me. PM can take anybody's credit card. You don't have to be PayPal. Just click on the PayPal link, and then it says in their email address and password for signing into your PayPal to pay via PayPal. Underneath it actually says pay by debit or credit card. It says or, and it's a bit smaller, but it is under there, pay by debit or credit card, and you can just do it that way. It still uses PayPal, but you don't need a PayPal account or anything else like that. It's just our chosen online payment portal, so it's no different from anybody else's, and you just use it that way.
Nice t-shirt, by the way.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Do you know what? I forgot to wear it for the reveal. I was going to wear it for the reveal of the XD1. But yeah, I forgot. So that wasted that one. So I earned it and cleaned it and then forgot to wear it. So I thought I'd put it on today, but I was going to wear it on Monday's show.
All right, fair enough. Am I still on a satellite delay?
No, you're fine now. I reckon Leslie was just watching something on Netflix. I think it literally just pinged you a little bit, that was all.
No, fair enough. John, what you doing?
Oh, I've just sprayed up my engine.
In what? Talk us through the process then. People want to know what you're doing.
Well, I just used some MRP metallics.
Who?
MRP.
Mute him. Mute the man. Get him off.
To be honest, somebody just said about that. Do we stock and sell MRP paints? No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately they don't.
They don't like us, do they?
They don't like us. You think after all we did, but apparently not. We were shunned. We were shown the door and shunned.
We did, yeah.
Don't feel bad, Phil. You know you use proper sprue cutters instead of scissors. What's wrong with scissors? Look. Still use them. Look, I can cut things out with this. It's great.
Indestructible.
They are. These are my. You're talking about them scissors. These are the said scissors that are in my videos from around about 1995, and they work an absolute charm. And I use everything for these. So these actually cut. Oh, everything, literally anything. The only thing they're not very good for now is doing threads and rigging. They don't quite have that edge to them, but they certainly hack through everything else.
Shell was trimming around my ears the other day and she was using mine, and they seemed to be struggling slightly.
Pulling a bit, was it?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was either that or I was wincing and she was doing it. It was like moving my head out of the way.
At least you ain't lost an ear.
No, it's it.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris says, hello Phil and guys, I'm going to be building the 148 scale F4 Phantom and an F14D in the Black Bunny scheme. My question is, should the black paint be a shiny gloss black, or should it be more of a satin for the final paint? I'll be using Tamiya X1 for the gloss and AK's black micro primer filler for the satin look. Your thoughts on this? It is really difficult because I know Bunny as she's known, and I've done the Phantom as Bunny and I've done the Tomcat, and both times it's the only time I've just gone straight in with just standard X1 Tamiya black, and it both looks fantastic like it, because the reality is those things were absolutely mint. They were proper, kept very nice, and yeah, and to be honest, it looks very, very nice in it as well, because like the Tomcat, you've got the leading edges of the wings are in that sort of titanium colour, and you've got all the other parts on it, and it just stands out really, really well, and the Phantom looks great in it as well. So I would have to say, from a personal point of view, go with gloss. And I've done the 32nd version on the Phantom many years ago, and I've done the 48th, and it looks fantastic, and I've done the 48th F14 and I've gone for the gloss as well, and it just looks absolutely stunning. It's probably the only time I would ever recommend just going pure gloss with it, because it looks smart. You guys, what do you reckon?
Yeah, gloss black.
Yeah, it's got to be on it.
I can't see how you can get away with it.
Because even in when you look at
Shade
pictures
team.
of like Bunny, especially when she was doing all the bomb work and everything, like Vandy 1 and stuff, and it was always very, very shiny. If you watch videos and that, it looks mint every time. It's a beautiful looking aircraft, I must admit.
It's even more so than a showbird, because they sort of like get a bit weathering on them, but they were always just seemed to be more like a show car, weren't they? It's all like always kept
absolutely mint.
Immaculate.
If you do that though, Phil, would you just do the gloss back, decal it, and then leave it like that? Or would you put a clear coat over it as well?
Yeah, I'd put a clear coat over it because you want the decals to bury in. So yeah, I always gloss them again. So it will literally be gloss paint, decaled, re-gloss, because the decals normally are more of a satin finish than a gloss finish, and they look odd sat on the surface, especially with a little bit of carrier film around the edge. So re-gloss it afterwards and nail them down. Then you can still do, and I've done it before, I used to actually go in and give them a wash. So as I said, when I did the 32nd scale Phantom, that one had a very dark grey wash right over it, and it just made it all pop. It looked really, really nice. The other ones weren't weathered at all. They were just left as is because they were commissions. But I must admit, I sort of got my own way because I wanted to give it a little bit of something, and it looked absolutely great.
Jim's asking the question, says, are the hind decals in the PM shop yet? Now, unfortunately, we won't get them in the PM shop. You have to order them directly from the manufacturer.
Yeah, he's got an eBay page.
Yeah.
Quintus Studios.
Yeah. He is in Russia. Probably took 2 to 3 weeks to come through, but yeah, I've not heard of anybody not actually receive them yet.
I wouldn't be surprised, if I'm honest, if somebody don't take them on and import them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because they are very good.
Because they do. What other stuff do they do? Because they do other.
It's mainly it's all Russian stuff, but he does like World War II yaks and things, and
he's done some big 29s.
Yeah.
His latest one is for the 148 Yak 130.
Yeah.
The Zvezda kit. That looks stunning because what he's done as well. He's got the deck cord for the canopy, and that looks really nice.
John says Quint owned by Zvezda. No, I don't believe so. I don't think there's anything to do with it. You'd think that they were in collaboration with the Hind, with having it so little detail in the cockpit on the Hind. But yeah, it's hard to tell really. So like they're a bit. Yeah. It took 4 weeks, Phil says, to get his decals through for his Hind. Yeah. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely a good investment after looking at yours.
Yeah. And Chris said you should buy the interior decal set and put it in the Hind box. The problem is it bumps the price of the Hind up, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, where do you stop?
The thing is, we all know that kit is going to get jumped on by everybody.
Yeah.
For aftermarket, and I think that's why it is what it is and very basic. Because I think the revs to know that every man and his dog who does aftermarket are going to be all over that kit. So why should they put the effort in when everybody else will do all the details for them? Do you know what I mean?
And it's still the best 48 scale Hind.
Oh yeah, it's the most accurate. Easily.
Yeah, but let's face it, it's the only now.
Yeah, but that's technicality, isn't it, Bill?
It's still
right, second hand, but if you want a new one, it is the only one. Anyway, quick one for you, Matt, because you'll like this one. Daryl says, he says he spent 30 quid on the new Tamiya hand drill. When he opened the box, he found out it was a kit with a motor. I was like, really? But you like your one, don't you?
I think it's mint. To be honest, this has took over now, to be fair. But the Tamiya one's at work, so obviously I can leave the procs on here and the Tamiya one. Yeah, it's a great little tool, I think. And it's a kit, so you get 2 for 1, so you get to build your own drill.
True. Yes.
It's not exactly rocket science to build it either. It's like, I think I did it in like 20 minutes, if that. It's dead easy, but worth it, worth doing.
Chris is asking, says, Matt, where did you get your Optivisor from and what magnification? He got it from a model show because I got him to buy it, but it's the ones that we've both got, it's a number 5.
John's got one.
Is yours a number 5 as well, John? Says on the front of the lens, steer.
Yeah, so 2.5 magnification.
It says number 5 though, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so number 5 is a 2.5 magnification, not a 5 times magnification. That seems to be the standard one, to be honest. What most people have is a 2.5. The optical grade glass lenses, unlike the plastic things that John's got at the moment in his hand, and they are really good.
They're expensive, but I had those originally, and they're awful to wear.
Yeah, you can get them from Amazon, sell them for 40, 50 quid.
Good investment though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've had mine that long. My leather bands gone on mine, but still comfortable to wear.
Jeez, can you hear this?
Rotted it.
I think it's because I use my extractor so much in my room.
Yeah.
I think it's the fumes from the lack of thinners that's killed it off.
Carry on, Pinocchio.
It's weird, do you know, like in, I know we all have this problem, but do you know in Ferraris, where all the plastic switches go soft?
Yeah, I'm off. My Ferrari's buggered, I tell you.
It's weird, yeah, like you get some plastics that over age it goes
It degrades.
sticky, doesn't it?
Yeah. Perhaps you excrete a lot of acid in your sweat.
I don't know.
It's that alien blood.
Don't know. It is, yeah.
Yeah. That was me, all the fumes in here, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
As an aside, where you had just mentioned leather, I learned something interesting today. I was reading an article about CA glue,
What, leather comes from cows?
and apparently you shouldn't store CA glue anywhere that you keep leather or cotton or wool, because apparently
It's flammable, yeah.
it can cause an exothermic reaction
Yeah.
and it'll catch fire.
Ooh,
Okay.
didn't know
So
that.
take it out your clothes cupboard then.
Yeah, it's in my
Yeah,
pants drawer.
Anything that's organic, if that's why it burns your fingers, isn't it? Because it does exactly the same thing on your fingers. That's why it feels so hot when you can burn
When
your
you
fingers.
melt it to your
When you
hand.
stick them together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Cool, this stuff's nice to cut off the sprue.
Is it?
Jeez, could you hear it just then? Like,
What
seriously.
you using? Hey, what snips you using?
Bolt
Def-
cutters.
Definitely not with scissors.
No, I don't think
No.
the scissors would go through it.
That's such a fine kit. I expect you're using your god hands, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm using my god hands on these.
What's left of them?
I don't have a blade left at this rate.
I think you might need to get the razor saw out.
I was talking about those surgical saws. I think I need one.
I tell you what, you're brave going that close.
Well, this is it. That's why I'm slightly hovering off.
William's got a question for you, Phil.
Yeah.
He says, it's understandable that dark dirt and black are the most widely used washers. I think it's actually dark dirt and grime, but yeah. When would you use light grey? Oh, it moved on me. Light and grey. On what background colours?
Okay, well, the light wash was obviously part of the old school. What happened was I only had two colours for like 7 years, and that was dark dirt and light dirt. And in those days, the clay, because it was unrefined, came out the ground. It used to be not white. It was more of a very light grey colour, so we couldn't sell it as white wash because it technically wasn't white. And sometimes it used to vary in colour. For the first few years, each batch would almost be a different colour until we got a refined clay now, which is what we use. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. So consequently, the whole idea was the dark dirt was more of a, it wasn't the colour it was now, it was more of a grey, if anything. It was a very dark gunship type grey. So what happened was people used to say, yeah, can you lighten it? So that's what we did. We did a light wash and used to mix it to whatever shade you wanted, and that's how it worked. So that's how it always was. So then the wash became basically white because we used proper clay, to be honest, these days than we did back in the early days. So that's when you have, it was known as the light wash, and that's why still to this day it's known as light dirt and dark dirt. So that's how that works. The grey just comes about because people are always asking for grey wash, and that is a throwback to the original dark dirt that was more of a grey colour than when I shifted it to more of a dirty engine oil colour because I found it worked better. And that's actually how it is. So that's where you go. As for using it, again, the light wash, you can use it as a winter camo. For doing just a white wash right the way over anything. Put it through an airbrush and blast your tank. You can have it completely painted white within 3 or 4 passes, and that's it. And then you can rub it back as you would normally do any of those. So that's basically how that one went. And then, you know, with the grey wash, well then if you're doing things like white and you just want more of a subtle colour, you can do that. But the grey colour as well is great for doing things like mortar. So if you've got like streets, cobbled streets, you can put it down. You can use it for brickwork in anything from buildings. Obviously a lot of dioramas use it and stuff like that. So a lot of people think of the wash as just on aircraft, but these days it's used probably more by diorama people and trained people and stuff like that. So that's how that one works.
You can also use the lighter and darker colours for lightening and darkening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sky.
Because I always say the black, I would never really use the black, but the black I use it because I darken everything up with it. Even the dark dirt wash, I want a darker version that's had a bit of black to it, because all the washes are designed because they all come from the same clay. It's the basic clay is the same, and then it's just a colour pigment that changes them for the colour. So they can all be mixed together, put them in a bottle, shake it, and you end up with a new colour.
There you go. How was that?
There you go, the original winter. So what happened with that was a little bit thicker than the standard light wash as it was back in the day. So we had it's in a pump spritzer bottle with a winter camo. And then what happened was it was a case of there was no point us having the light wash and that because it's the same colour. So we were just, what I did was I thickened up the white, so it's actually a little bit thicker than it used to be. And then you can just literally come along and use it as a winter camo as it is. So we discontinued the winter camo because there's no point having two that were doing the same thing. So that was it. The story of the wash. The history of the wash.
Yeah. So you're cutting that off with your
Citadel cutters.
Citadel, that's the one. The Citadel, yeah. Bolt cutters, aren't they?
Seeing as I haven't got like laser anything.
Oh, crashed.
Yeah, these are literally the bolt cutters of hobby.
There's mine for the odd look. That and a saw.
Yeah.
Christopher says, does the sound wash give a dusty look?
Yes. Yeah, to be honest, that's what I use for all that type of stuff. If you want to, you know, basically have anything dusty looking. So if you have a look at the little bird build that I did, so the cockpit's got it all the way through it, so it gives a nice dusty look all in the cockpit of helicopters and armour and all stuff like that. Used it on the Chinook as well, put it through an airbrush and just sprayed the entire thing with it. So.
And Astrios says, can we use the Flory wash thin as a filter?
Yes, of course you can. Yeah, just thin it like we said before. If you're going to thin it with just preferably distilled water. But if not, tap water will do it. But if you're doing it that way, you might have to add a drop of washing up liquid or dishwater soap, because what that will do is help break the surface tension, because otherwise it might bead up if you go on glossy surfaces and stuff like that.
Sorry if I butchered your name, but
yes.
You can't read.
crap at foreign, crap at English name. Don't mind anything else. So. Asterios.
Is it possible to remove MRP paint from a clear canopy? It's leached under the masking tape. Grr, from Andy.
Ooh, probably not.
It probably was me, but not this
To be
time.
honest, the only thing you can really try is a cocktail stick, because you won't damage the plastic of the canopy, and try and scrape it off. If that works and it's etched in a little bit, what you can try and do is then polish it out. if it's textured, the paint, but it depends. If it's like we were saying, the Hataka stuff isn't that aggressive and you can scrape clean it, or as I did, luckily with that particular colour I used on the MIG, I had it leach under the MIG and I was like, shit. I'm thinking that's it, and actually I got a cocktail stick and it scraped away like acrylic paint, so that was handy. It was like happy days.
I have semi-successfully used one of the small buffers, green-sided, white-sided buffers, to take it off, but you start to be very gingerly with it and not go too mad.
Yeah.
You know, you can sort of like, take it off and then use the green side first, take it off, and then sort of like, use the white side to buff it back out again. But
hold on, I'm just looking for some better artillery to cut my thing on.
You've got your sander behind you.
Well, that's your other option. It's a bit noisy for me to use the scroll saw, and I scroll saw it all off. But I have got this lot as well. So I'm thinking of getting the one for removing legs blades on it, and we'll give it a whirl with that.
I tell you what, I'm just looking forward to seeing this helicopter that Nathan's won.
I tell you what, when it comes, he's got to do a review of it.
Yes.
it's a shame Nathan didn't want on tonight, because we had a bit of a mini model show at the store today, didn't we? Taking photos of
Well, Nathan's in chat. He's in both the chats. Right.
And Andy took some photos in a vid, didn't you, mate?
I took photos on a vid, and Nathan took more photos.
By the way, for people here, it was all nice to social distancing.
I was socially distancing because I was 267 miles away. I was here.
He was basically weren't invited.
No, it's fine.
We're invited to your own shop.
Yeah, that's it.
Gonna get some fresh deco water, because the stuff I got 2 hours ago is now gone cold.
But Jabba.
Yeah.
You need a pot to keep your deco water warm.
Have you not got a mug warmer, USB mug warmer, Andy?
So he's done a rubber. So how comes he's gone and got it? Oh, this is the first time Andy's actually got up. Normally you get Shell to do it.
But, he's gone to the top of the stairs to shout to her.
You'd think he'd have one of those mug warmers, now he's got a brand new coffee machine.
Well, this is it.
Now he's a coffee snob.
Well, it's a bit cleaner doing it this way, I have to say.
What are you doing? Sawing it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what, you got the proper the limb removing tool out?
Yeah, I've got the one for removing legs.
Jeez. That's a bit overkill. Actually, that's a good point. Where's my Tamiya one? I've got one of them Tamiya.
Yeah, I've got one of them as well, but I've bent the blade.
If I don't know where mine is, it was hanging up here.
If anyone was wondering, that was me running the tap, not an elephant using the toilet, in not so many words as Matt said the other night.
Tell you what, Andy, we didn't hear you. Did you hear him?
I didn't hear him, no.
I didn't hear him, no.
The other night, he said it sounded like an elephant having a...
It did.
Roger, no, bed's coming next Thursday. I've got 5 more sleeps.
Fire. He's not bothered now, Roger, because he's got his posh coffee making machine.
That keeps me awake anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need to do bed because he's bouncing off the walls at night.
After Thursday's night show, when the coffee machine arrived, I ended up having 2 coffees between, what time did we finish? 9, didn't we? So say from 9:30 till 11, I ended up having 2 coffees and I couldn't sleep all night.
Hold on, I got half quite. Sorry, I've had to do a bit of a restart here because for some reason the forum is playing up. It's probably because it's just doing a lot. Hold on, what is going on? Hold on. is going on? What's going on here? Hold on. I think we just got questions all over the place here. The Flory family is filling up everything. Hold on, let me get back to start. Where were we? So we did that one about Andy MRP paints. Okay. Chris is talking. Guys, if you're going to talk to each other, don't use the forum, because the whole point is you guys chat in the chat room, not in the forum questions, if that makes sense. Because otherwise you're just moving one place to the other. We're going to get lost in amongst all of this one with, you know, you guys chatting in the forum about your stuff. It's like, that's what the chat room's for. Give us a break. We're trying to get questions through here. Okay, Tony says, hi Phil, thanks for your advice about the U-boat. Yeah, it's 1 meter 6 long. Crikey.
Oh my god.
Pictures of my winter build, the Airfix Typhoon attached. Oh right, sorry, I thought it was a question. No, yes, very nice. Having built that kit myself, I know it very, very well. Nice job on that. Coming along very, very nicely.
Graham says, Andy, you're British. You should be drinking tea, not that American beverage.
Yes, tea.
Is the current COVID build technically a group build? So we get a medal? No, you don't, Nigel. Get back in your box. Get going with the. That's proper group builds. It's just a SIG, the COVID one. Can't afford it. We'd be having austerity measures at this rate. Tom says, I've used crystal clear for the vision blocks on a Panzer 4 before I started painting. Not the best way, I know. Could I use masking fluid over the top of them or peel off the mask with the crystal clear? To be honest, I'll probably just spray it, right? And then peel out your vision blocks and just put it back in once you've painted it all. Because that's what I do. And literally do it that way. Or you could try, I don't think you can mask over it. I think if you try and mask over it,
You'll pull it up.
I think you'll pull it off, yeah. Or it might leave like a gooey film over it or something. I don't know how it works on PVA. Never tried it, so I'll be a little bit wary about that one. To be honest, it's dead simple, isn't it? I would just use it then as a mask, spray it, get a pair of tweezers in there, hook them out afterwards, and then redo them again, and then clean them up. It'll be absolutely fine. That'd be the quickest and easiest way. Hi Phil, have you used...
What?
Go on.
What?
Eh?
I said, what's your opinion on Squadron Putter?
Well, you can't get it anymore, can you?
Is
that the green one?
Or... It. No, they've changed it. This is the grey one. They don't do the green.
I was going to say, because it was the green I used to like.
Yeah, no, they've changed the green to grey and we stock it now.
Do we?
Yeah.
Like I'd know. Clearly. I know nothing. How much is it? And is it any good?
Got no idea. We only come in yesterday.
Oh, it's nice to see we're testing stuff before we flog it. What if it's crap?
No, it's Squadron Putter. Actually, do you know what it smells like? Tamiya. That stuff
right.
we keep using from Tamiya stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, in my little care package, when my my masking set comes through, send a standard tube. I'll give it a
Yeah,
whirl.
we'll do. Yeah, we'll do.
Oh shit!
Ooh, what's Andy done?
Oh, he broke it.
Mine's not even squeezed, and it popped
He's not
on.
filled another keyboard, has he?
No.
Are you leaking? He's peaked again.
Yeah. I'm just, you have to poke the hole in with the top of the.
Yeah, and you know, before you do that, you tap the bottom of it, and then you pop it.
It's not a can of Coke, you know.
It releases the pressure.
He's used to this.
You're just having a messy day, aren't you? Covered in paint, covered in filler.
See.
Okay, Martin says, hi Phil and team, have you used the Eddard's Super Fabric seat belts? Any tips? As I'm really struggling with some of the Phantom at the moment.
I've never used them.
I haven't used their fabric ones yet. I've used HGWs and I love them. I think they're really good. But you need to warm them up and make them pliable first.
You see them?
Yeah.
They're very much like HGW
I was
ones.
going to say, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of tips. Right. They usually got a backing sheet. If they're the same as the HGW ones, they'll have a backing sheet. Okay.
Actually, I don't know if you can actually see it on the corner,
Right.
down the bottom. It says HGW on them.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. So that explains it. Okay, so I've used them loads of times. So it's got a backing sheet on it. All right. So the backing sheet, what you want to do is cut it off the thing before you take the backing sheet off. Okay. And then obviously, if you've got to make any adjustments to the belt, like shorten it or anything else like that, do it with the backing sheet on it. Once you've got your harness how you want it and all the rest of it, to get all the metally bits on, okay, what you want to do is warm it up. So basically, put it between your hands. Take it off the backing sheet and then just roll it up and roll it in your hands. What you do is you break all the fibres up and make it really, really pliable. And then it's just a case of, with a good pair of sharp tweezers, just grab an end and start feeding it through all the buckles and dressing it as you would to put the buckles in and everything else like that. And it's really nice. And then that way, when they're, but you need to warm them up so they go really floppy. And they just hang naturally then, and you just put them on your seat and let them go. And like when I used them on loads of stuff, so the Typhoon had it with them, and I just slumped them all in the well, into the seat well. And then when I used it on the FW190, I think I chucked them out the sides. And they just naturally, and they've never been glued, you can flick them around and they just hang down the sides. But what you want to do is warm them up first to sort of break up the fibres a little bit. It makes it very pliable, otherwise they're like cardboard. Then you can go over it if you want to weather them in, like I did, with a little bit of oil wash as well. And that works quite nice with them as well. Okay, guys, they're talking then about the thing. Evening all, question for Phil. I'd love to see you tackle the Tamiya 148 scale Lancaster. You do a lot of newer kits. Well, clearly, you tell Ben hasn't been on the site for ages. Ben, I've done lots of old kits recently. Some real proper pucker 1960s kits as well. It'd be great to see your approach on these classic kits. And how you deal with raised panel lines. I've just done all that. I've just done one with raised panel lines as well. Just a little bit of a tiddler, but recently during the start of the COVID we did it live. I can't reach it, it's over down there now, but I did the Trojan with the 1960s Legend, the Hella kit. Very nice it was too. It's a great little kit. They're best to date. Big thank you for Tony for getting me that kit many moons ago. But yes, but as for the Tamiya Lank, again, I've built loads of them in the past. I've done them for commissions for one of our members as well. We had one of mine. And yeah, it's one of those that it depends how you want to tackle it. Do you want to take all the panel lines off and make them recessed, or do you want to add the raised ones back in? So with that particular kit, as I say, I think just adding them back in is easier, and you can go with it that way. Phil, thanks. Will do my best. That's from Roger. Loving doing my first tank. Good luck with that one. Good job. Hello, Phil and team. Is the Kitty Hawk Jaguar any good? Just coming back to the hobby after a very long break. Thanks for all the tips on these shows. Well, Jason, the thing is to remember with the kit, if you're going to build it with everything open, it's actually not too bad at all. The kit, which we've done, there's a video build up there right the way through. I did mine open because I chickened out of trying to close it all up. It's when you come to close that kit up, things don't really go together very well because most of the panels and that aren't the right size. They're too small. So if you want to do it, you might need little shims of plasticard here, there and everywhere. But we take the mick out of it, but actually it's a beautifully detailed kit. It's got some great features with it. Again, if you're doing the British version, you've got to get British weaponry for it, or just do what I did and don't arm it. And I've got it just with the drop tanks and all the rest of it, and it looks really nice. I did mine in the snow scheme with the can openers. Very nice it is. It's one of those kits. It's really, really nice kit to work on. But typical Kitty Hawk, test fit everything, check everything twice before you commit to glue, and just be aware of various fit issues and things. The gear's a little bit fiddly to get in with that kit, but again, have a look at it and go round, and I show it in the video builder. I did my gear and everything just to you know, keep an eye on where you're going to be putting things and when.
Do you reckon it though?
Lots of things. Ben's found the decals for that Hurricane. Decals for 1944 Hurricane Mark II-C. Far East markings is about the only theatre the Hurricanes were used. So yes, he's done that one, so that's in the forum. Hi guys, quick question. Have any of you got a kit in your stash that has never that is now become too valuable that you won't build it?
Just go to Andy.
Yeah, Andy, that's your question really.
Too valuable was a bit stretched, you know, because I've got kits that are more valuable than others, but I still build them. But I mean, I've got I don't know. It's got some of the. I'd say I'm a collector and a builder, obviously, because I've got so many kits. But I mean, I've got, for example, the Edard F14. What's it called? That boxing.
The which one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Edard F14.
Oh, the Top Gun thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
What's it called now, Matt?
Oh, he's gone 8-bit on us again. Leslie's watching the next episode.
Yeah, and I've also got all the Edard boxings of the F4, which was the
Academy kit, wasn't it? That one?
Yeah, Academy kit, yeah, which was the Good Morning Vietnam, Good Evening Vietnam, Bicentennial Phantoms and Rocking Rhinos. I've never built them.
Is that the one you were thinking of, Andy?
Which one? Say again?
Danger Zone?
Yeah, Danger Zone, that was it.
Yeah. And they're worth a fortune to try and sell them, but I don't know, you know, technically they're superseded by a lot better kits.
I think now, right? Winged Up Wings.
Yeah, Winged Up Wings.
Wings, yeah, crikey, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't see anything's too valuable not to build it.
Well, because we were talking last night, weren't we? And we got picked that one up at last year, didn't we? 50 quid.
Yeah.
And there is someone on eBay selling them for 200.
I'd buy it for $1.
Seems cheap.
Yeah. So John's willing to part with his for a measly 180 quid, John?
Oh, I'm going to keep it. Not going to rush into selling it.
It's open to offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, offers in excess of.
Yeah, to be honest, mine is, I've got the Rebel Platinum Edition Turpix, 1/350th, and it was just one of those things. I was in that phase of, oh, I fancy building a ship, and it came up really cheap on offer somewhere. So I bought it, and once I looked at it, I thought, nah, I'm not going to build that.
Yeah.
2,190 parts.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like the Helldiver, 32nd Helldiver. I've got HPH one. I mean, that's, you know, kit's a couple £100 kit to buy. But yes, it's a lot more money than other kits I've got. But it's still, you know, that's just I bought it because I want to build it one day. That's probably, I mean, like, you know, Phil's mentioned that he's got kits, his retirement things he wants to do, and that's definitely my retirement kit I want to do.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, I haven't anymore. Used to, but as I say, it's with times are changing, and with me and Matt doing what we do, it's something we can usually get hold of most things if we need them desperately. Some things you might have to pay a little bit more for, but I've got a couple of garagey type things. I've got Chewy's bowcaster 1-to-1 scale. That's quite hard to get hold of these days. And I've got things like that from my prop stage stuff and those types of things, which is a little bit different. And I've got my studio scale X-Wing to do at some point. But those you could still probably get them if you're going to pay for them. So
it is like you said, with the shop. I mean, I'm up there pretty much every weekend, and so I think, is it worth buying something because it's, I could just say to Matt, can you get the one? But I still didn't stop me from coming home with some lens today. But
it's a good kit. I like it.
yeah, it looks good kit because it'll suit me down to the ground because it's got about 3 parts.
It's got a few more. I'll tell you what I have got if you want it. I've got the Hummer that goes with it, but I never built the Hummer with mine because mine came with the Hummer. I've still got the Hummer separate.
What's that?
Hummer.
Well, they did a version that came with the Hummer, but I never built the Hummer because I did it as a video build for the site.
Yeah.
So I've still got the Hummer that goes with that.
Are you on about the 117?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Ding. Ding. It's a lot easier, I'll tell you what, with a saw. These parts are positively gliding off. They don't look any better. They still look as bad, but it's definitely, I highly recommend anyone doing Mac 2, do not try and cut them with sprue cutters, because the parts just shatter. So just get out your best kitchen knife and start hacking. Flight yokes. Look, it's good this. Look, we'll be on a roll. I reckon we'll be ready to build this by Christmas.
Has it got some?
Look at that. First sprue out of the way. Is this because it's so sharp, the sprues, you think I had to wrap them in some type of protective before I put them out for the bin men? In case they cut themselves doing the recycling.
Health and safety.
This is it. Right, okay. Darren says, has anyone ever built the Airfix 172nd B25 CD? I've ordered one from the PM store, got the big Ed set from Edard and some cool decals from Kitworld Kits. Kit is modular. Any pitfalls to avoid? To be honest, I haven't built it. I have to say, I'm off the hook with that one. Anybody know it? Andy, you built it?
No, I've not built it, no.
What
You done it,
is
Matt?
it? What is it?
B25.
Airfix B25.
Oh, that's a fucking kit. You've reviewed it.
I have reviewed it, but say I haven't built it. Again, because of its modular nature, shall we say, I would probably put all the fuselage bits together and do it that way. But you know, as far to be honest, we've seen people bring them in the shop and to various shows, and I haven't heard anyone say it's bad. But I can't vouch for the kit totally, having never built it really.
Should be a nice kit though. You know, Airfix, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dennis has said, Phil, heat a scalpel blade and cut them that way? Is Tam's at home, or
Yeah.
he's all right because he's got first aider, so yeah, he could do.
Can you imagine trying to heat this thing up? One, you have to imagine this isn't your normal styrene. I'm not even sure a heated blade would go through this. But can you imagine how long you would spend in your life heating up your blade to get through it? You'd be there forever. You know, heat up a couple of seconds, go off, go back, heat up. It'd take forever. It's easy just to hack it. Hack and slash. That's it. Anyway, we're one sprue in, second one to go. Right, okay, next page of questions. I tell you what, it's a lot easier doing the questions like this, isn't it? They are for this kit. Well, hold on, are we having a separate conversation? Is anyone talking about a Hurricane Mark 2C? Didn't we say the Mark 2C was different? It had a different fuselage, it was longer, something different, longer spinner as well?
Something like that, yeah.
Hi Matt and Phil and guys from Miami. I was wondering if you've had a look at the Kazan Model Designs resin seats. They are available in the US now, but was curious if you've had the opportunity to review them. Never heard of them. Who are they? I've never heard of them.
Kazan. Is that a K or a C?
Kazan. Paul's got a full set of the classic old Flory bottles, which are on which screen? There you go, look. There's a history lesson for you. So these would have been circa 2008. So these aren't the oldest, there's older ones to this as well. But from the ones you've got here, this is the oldest one. Then it went on to the brush when we used to have the paintbrush logo, which then was used with the Pro Modelers logo when it was a brush on the Pro Modeler logo used to have a brush on it. So yeah, that's somewhere in between. I wonder if the colour came off, because it would have had Pro Modeler in there. Perhaps the colour came off the label back in those days. But yeah, so that's an oldish one. There was one before that because the light was on the top. And it was known as Flory Models Wash. Then it went Pro Modelers again, and then back. And then the original were in glass bottles, 50ml glass bottles. So, yes.
Expensive.
Yeah, crikey. So that one there, looking at it, the ones with the brush ones on, that would have been the old clay. That was pretty ropey stuff, to be honest, back in those days. And then about at this point, obviously these are the modern ones. But yeah, the old black labels. Crikey. Are these the labels that go all the way around as well? I can't remember when we stopped doing them. It looks like it's got 50 on there. But that might be one of the older ones where the label went all the way round. Crikey. See, the history of the wash. Any news on Kazan?
No, I'm just looking. They don't seem to have much in. I go onto their site, go to menu, eShop, current catalogue. There's nothing there. Go to menu, eShop, Justin available for immediate shipment, and it's got 4 products and 1 sold out. And it's all undercarriage.
All right. No, I must admit I haven't seen them. So yeah, we'll have to have a look into those ones. Peter says, having used your sanding sticks before and after a couple of skinny starter packs, any idea when you have some of the others in for sale? Same with your washers. After a big bundle to get started. Love your shows, proud to be a Flory supporter. Be safe, healthy in the lockdowns. Guys, Peter. To be honest, Peter, we have got, actually I've just upped our order as well with our supplier. So we're almost up to 100,000 sanders are on order to be coming in as soon as possible. But again, when that is, I don't know yet, because I don't know officially when our production slots are going to be. I've got a ballpark idea when they're going to be, but when that is, and then obviously a lot of our sanders have to be printed as well. So then they have to go off to the printers and be sanded. Then obviously they come here, which involves me going through a very technical process of packaging department, which consists of me sat on the sofa watching telly, putting them in bags. So once all of those are done, then they can go out for sale. When that will be, honestly, I really can't tell you. I've been on the back. I had 2 Skype meetings last week with our manufacturers about it. The factory is still technically in lockdown and all the staff are furloughed, but they are planning this week of coming back online and us going into production again, and we can get a slot as soon as we can. But when that is, I'm not sure. Chris says, my airbrush, never used it. The front valve under the colour cut seems to be a pressure valve. But I don't know about the back end. Can you tell what it's for? Yes, that's very simple. So, hold on, where are we? Oh, wrong one, sorry. You want this one. So this bit up here is the Mac valve part. Okay, so this controls your air coming along here. So what happens is it comes up your air hose, okay? It goes along here, goes along underneath your needle, because it's not actually anywhere in here to do with the paint department. This just screws up and stops the airflow coming through into the cap. It then goes all around the cap and spits it out. This bit at the back controls the amount of trigger you can pull. So you do this normally clockwise all the way in, and you'll find you can't pull the trigger back. Okay, and then as obviously you slacken that off, it will allow more travel back on the trigger. So by using these two, you can turn the air to off to maximum, so from 0% to 100% of airflow, and you can do the same with the amount of paint. So you can lock them both to a fixed point. Okay, you got a gap in the back here. This is to actually pull the needle back, but depending if you've got this screwed in will depend on if it'll allow it or not. But that's a quick flow, so you can flush the needle by just grabbing it and pulling the needle back, or you could use this if you wanted to, but it's the easy way of doing it, just to reseat the needle and various things like that. But that's all it is. So pretty standard. Most airbrushes have this type of setup somewhere. Sometimes they're on the body here for the Mac valve, or it might be somewhere else. You might have it on a quick release like we were saying before, but that's all it is. Very straightforward. My wordy, I think we're almost up to the questions until I refresh. Right, so these kazaz, make sure I'm not in anywhere. I think we're okay. Let's check before we show. Right, here we go.
Yeah, that's all I could find was undercarriage.
Oh,
So it's just a detailed undercarriage set in resin instead of plastic by the looks of it.
Yeah, I couldn't find any ejector seats on their site.
Yeah. Do you
They look
know?
nice though.
Again, to be honest, somebody sent me a link on this the other day with the metal parts put into it, but I said, like, Tammy's been doing that for years, because my Zero's got that. Yeah, it's got the metal parts built into the plastic.
yeah.
So it's not like it's a new thing, because Tammy's been doing it since that kit came out. As we said, it was 10 years old now, isn't it? So, but they look very nice. If they're resin and being totally cleaned up and all the rest of it, unlike certain other manufacturers who tend to leave the ejector pins and seam marks all in it, you know, if it's been properly done and nice, then yeah, look very nice. Very sharp. Seem to be a little bit more detailed, shall we say, than the metal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What's that for? An F14, is it?
But the thing is, they're 30 quid. That's an expensive undercarriage set, isn't it? And that's a 1/48 scale, and they're normally £32.80, but they're doing 10% at Hannant's on back order. So do we think 32 quid's a bit expensive just for some undercarriage?
Yeah.
Yes.
48 scale. No, sorry, I'm just speaking aloud here because I just think that's a lot of money just for that. Could be speaking out of turn. Tell me if I am.
It is a lot of money when you add it to the kit.
It is for that. Yeah.
It's for a part of the kit you don't really see that much of normally, because most people display them with the wheels on the ground rather than the bottom face up, don't they?
Was that the Tamiya kit?
Yeah, I think so, wouldn't it? Sorry.
Yeah,
hold on.
Tamiya 14.
Yeah, Tamiya F14.
So that's a 90 quid kit, and then there's 30 quid on top.
Yeah. And not being funny, being Tamiya, the gear ain't that bad on that kit.
I was about to say, was the gear that bad on it?
No.
So, oh well, you pay your money, take your choice, don't you? So.
Oh, guys, I'm just catching up with the chat in YouTube now. I wasn't talking to you guys, not chatting. You guys chat away. It's great. No problem.
Yeah. Oh.
I never realised the F-117 was such a big...
It's a big bird, not small.
Do you think the pilots were disappointed when they got in it and realised there was no button for the cannons on the joystick?
There's actually a very interesting YouTube video, and it's talking to an ex-pilot, and I think it's on the Fighter Pilots podcast, and he was saying about it because obviously it used to be a thing saying that it got the designation as a F for a fighter.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to fly a bomber.
Yeah.
But that's actually not quite true, as pointed out by an actual pilot. He says that's a bit of an urban myth floating around about that one, because it was very, very secret jet at the time and everything else like that. So, you know, there's a lot of like myths and various things, but apparently it still used to be able to carry sidewinders.
What did you get with it? GBUs.
Ian says, Phil, can you do a demo on how you bend clear rod for flight stands? Well, I could be horrible and say, become a member. There's lots of videos of me showing how to do it. But also, I think if I have done it on the live shows when I used to do the daily vlogs as well. Not recently, a few years ago now, but I remember being stood in front of the oven, and then I came in here and showed you how to do it with a, you know, an actual heat gun as well. But usually I just, as I say, it's a heat gun job. Heat gun down here, sticked up, heat, bend, roll it round, gets really hot, starts to burn your fingers, and then it just goes floppy, and you can then just bend it into each shape for it.
Yeah, the 117 is a bit bigger than an F18.
So when you look at that,
Yeah.
Is it?
compared to a 70-second Kafir,
Yeah.
it's a huge thing.
Well, the Wobbly Goblin was like a little sports plane, which was the test bed for it, wasn't it? It was the little mini version of a stealth fighter, but the stealth fighter's quite big. I remember seeing it at Riyadh the last year it flew at Riyadh, and it did a load of flybys because it didn't have the barrier put up in case it couldn't stop. It was the last flight of it, so that's one of the reasons I went to Riyadh that year, was to see the last flight. These locating tabs are huge. Look at these. Some cleanup required. Bit worrying to cut that off though. I might do it with a razor saw just in case it pulls the freaking hole out of it.
That'll be a push fit.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, you might struggle getting those two parts to go together if you don't take them off.
That's a locating pin, I'm sure. I think it might have to be a razor job though. Hold on, let me get a big cam.
I've given up Decalimic Kafir for tonight.
Yeah.
The decals are that bad, and the satin finish that's on the Kafirs, nowhere is going to manage these decals.
Oh,
Say again. Oh, he's froze again. Someone give him 50p in the meter.
Yeah. So when I built the Delphin, I used had decals on mine, so I didn't have any trouble.
for a gloss there. Oh, tonight.
Hey, what? What happened there? That was proper like a few minutes ago, and then it jumped to you laid back.
I don't know. The internet's shocking tonight. I keep getting poor connection and all sorts. So,
What are you saying about gloss, Matt?
I glossed it then for you had decals.
Yeah, I'm going to gloss it. Yeah. It's not too bad a finish. Yeah, because I did it in Attacker, but tell you it's
By the way, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, can we go back 10 minutes? Because I don't know what the hell's been going on.
Have you been? Sorry, were you stuck and we hadn't realised?
I've been talking to you, and obviously you've been able to hear what I've been saying. So
No. Sorry, what were you saying?
I forgot now. It can't be that important. Yeah, I was talking, and then because I've not been looking at the screen, I've been doing what I've been,
You're going to have to get Leslie off of Netflix, I tell you.
But
She's binging. No, he's gone again, and that's a good place to stop. Shame I haven't got him on full screen for that.
Yeah.
He looks like Alvin the Chipmunk.
It does.
Hold off. Can hear that.
Okay, right. And no, we didn't hear any of that. There's a couple here that says, where does Nathan, Matt, Andy, and can't remember his name, but the guy in the top right, display your models?
Most of mine, I've got 2 display cabinets downstairs that they go in. But they're completely full and rammed. Dotted around the house because my wife's very generous and doesn't own too much, just a bit. But fair, 99.9% of them end up at the shop.
Yes.
So I think that's the same with all of us, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, and say a lot of mine used to be commissions, so they just go to their new home, and then. But since I stopped doing all of that, they're usually either at PM, or they're with Nathan, or they are in here in my cabinets I've got in here.
I was up at the shop today and I did do a little bit of a walk around video that I'll stitch together. It's in about 4 parts, and I'll put some non-copyright music to it, just so because you can hear us chatting away and
Talking bollocks.
yeah, basically yeah. Put a bit of music just to go over the top of it, and then I'll post it up and.
Cool. So I'd like to see it as well, seeing I haven't even seen my own bloody business for 9 months.
Well, I did say to Matt when he said, "Are you going to take a video?" I said, "It's a bit messy," but he said, "Do it." There's boxes and kits all over the place.
Is this the bit where I come up, you two have a mass clean-up before I rack up?
Yeah.
It'd be like a student's flat.
You tell Matt's been buying because there's literally not enough racking for the kits now.
Yeah, that's it. He's on a buying ban now. Right, a couple of little questions in here as well. Does anyone use a photo hosting site for their model pics? Well, to be honest, Flory members, we've got our own hosting for all your photos and various bits as well, so you can just pop that straight in there. But apart from that, you know, you take your pick. There's just various ones out there, isn't it? Photo Bucket and all of the rest of them.
I've recently had 2 of the ones that I used to use saying that they're cancelling my membership now because I've not used them for such a long time. I don't pay the subscription, so
Yeah.
yeah, just use the Flory site now.
Serious question. As you work full-time in modelling, what do you do if and when you lose your modelling mojo? Yeah. to be honest, that's the thing, you know, is this is my full-time job, and I have been doing this now for the last 20 years. So as my full-time job. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's your job, you know, and I take my job quite seriously. Might not seem it, but I do. So that's it, is that like you guys get up, you go to work, I do exactly the same thing. Just so happens I actually like my job very, very much. So, you know, like I always say, it's not like I'm digging a hole. Like a lot of people, and they have really shit jobs they go to, but the difference is that I live, breathe everything literally this. So if I get a bad day in the office, you guys never see it. That's the whole point, because the last thing you want me, well, I would say not moaning, but I do, so or having a rant or anything else like that. But even if I've had a terrible day, that's my problem, not yours, because you don't obviously want to hear and see and all things like that. That's why I always try and keep these things very light-hearted. And moving on, really. So, but yeah, I think a lot of us, you know, like I do, if I'm feeling the pinch, shall we say, I will do a nice straightforward kit, something Tamiya, something that's really nice, very enjoyable just to build. I used to build a lot of Bandai, but now I've built most things. So I might do a Bandai kit or something else that just picks up the mojo just to keep going. So from my point of view, if I've done some really big heavy duty kits, lots of weathering, scratch building, things like that, then the next kit I'll do something straight out of the box just to move things along a bit quicker and get the old mojo going again. Don't know. Ever lose the old mojo, chaps?
Sure.
Me, never.
Well, not on a Thursday.
Yeah, I just either try and pick up a new kit, but then have to force myself. I mean, like, fair, this one was started ages ago and lost my mojo with it, and then I've gone back onto it. I'm trying to make sure that I get it done before I start anything else. But like I say, it's easier for us, isn't it? Because we can start something else, whereas you're doing it as a video build, so it's more difficult. I mean, you can if you lost your mojo on the B17, you could then start on that one.
Yeah.
I know it's a different reason why you're starting on it, but you know, you could start something else, but you can't really put it to one side for 6 months, can you? And then go crack on with it at another time.
To be honest, a similar type question came up yesterday, and it is that thing, is that the only luxury I don't have compared to normal people modelling as a hobby is that I can't put mine down and walk away from it or just start another kit if I'm having a bad day with it or something goes wrong. I have to see it through, you know. So that's the only difference from me sat here and anybody else sitting here doing it as a hobby, is that, you know, I don't have the luxury of walking away from it, because that's it, I'm committed. As soon as that box opens, I'm under a certain timeline, because that's the other thing as well. I don't think people appreciate that. For me, I have a set amount of time on each model. I know people think when you build models, you just build them at your leisure, but obviously the membership don't want to see me build a model for 6 months, the same thing. You know, don't want to see me whittling on a wing for a week, you know, so they want to see things moving along and new videos coming up all the time. So I know I'm under a certain amount of pressure to have a build moving on at X, Y, and Z pace. So I always set my thing of usually 12 to 15 full builds per year, plus everything else that goes with it. So again, this type of thing, doing this, obviously tutorials, bite-sized stuff, you know, all of those things that we do on top, all the reviews and everything as well. So you do have to be a little bit disciplined with your time and how you set out my work day. And my work day normally starts 7 o'clock every morning. I'll do the orders through to around about 9. Usually me and Matt have a chin wag as we're both doing our orders in the morning for about half hour or so, discussing all things PM and stuff like that. And then I will try and get in here usually around about 11 through till, like we've been doing these hours, so I get sort of 3 hours build time in here. And then in amongst all of that, I've still got, like everybody else does, having their own business, paperwork, accountants to deal with, and then on top of that I do have to deal with all the stock. So it's like the wash. So Saturdays and weekends for me, like today I was making up wash and bottling sanders and all things like that, and do it. But you know, don't think I'm doing the woe is me card, because I enjoy it. I'm a martyr. I like doing all these things. You know, it's nice to have the control over it, as a lot of you know. I used to have staff a few years ago, but now it's just me, myself and I. But I like it because I know exactly where I am with my day. I know what I've got to do, so forth and so on. So definitely one of those ones. So no time to wimp out or have shelves of doom and everything else like that.
because of, I mean, like the Shelf of Dooms. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I like doing the quick deals that we do. You know, the what's it called? The one that we do later on the evening of the year.
Oh, well,
Turkey shoot.
Turkey
shoot, yeah. Because it focuses you on getting it done, doesn't it? It's like, you know, you have to sort of work at a pace and concentrate on getting it done. Whereas, like now, yeah, I'm sat here talking and I put 4 decals on.
Yeah.
In 3 hours.
I will say though, one of the biggest things that's helped me is now I've got this, my own shed, rather than when I was indoors and then when I finished the session I had to pack everything away. That was the big mojo killer for me, because you get home from a hard day's work and you think, oh, I can't be bothered to get everything out, you know, tonight.
Yeah.
Whereas now I've got my own area, I can just walk in and out. That's been a big help.
Yes. Yeah, I must admit, you know, like everything, you just have to be a little bit disciplined in some cases, isn't it? Just to push through. That may be just that thing of we've all done it. You start watching something on YouTube, and before you know it, an evening's gone by and you haven't done anything, you know, and stuff. So.
But then, like, normally we're chatting together in the evenings anyway, and sort of like sometimes we're our own biggest distraction, because we'll be chatting away, having a laugh and looking at stuff on the internet, and yeah, and end up getting it as well. But
Yes.
To be fair, Andy, it's normally you that gets distracted.
yeah, true.
Look at this, there's dust positive falling off the sprue. Oh look, Matt's back.
Matt's back.
Am I?
Yeah.
What
Well, you're
happened there?
moving.
You've gone again.
You were sat there like Alvin in the Chipmunk for 10 minutes. You had a great grin on your face.
Oh, it's been shocking.
I reckon Leslie's watching boxer.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Well, it does seem to be buffering like every sort of half hour. So she looks like she's making her way through episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gone a bit clearer as well. I've been proper up here.
Paul said you need to change your password on your router. It looks like your neighbours have got your login credentials and using your wireless signal.
He's too tight to pay for fibre optic broadband. That's why he's still on
still
dial-up.
Dial-up.
No, it's easy.
Hold on, let me refresh the site. It's going to have a big think. So everything's on a go slow tonight, I tell you. Phil looks like a butcher with his saw. I feel like one. I don't think I've ever butchered a kit like this before.
Peter says, who wanted the hurricane decals, stickers? I can't remember who it was. Peter. Well, we find some 1945. Did they only use them in the Far East and Malta? Malta Fleet Air on the Sea Hurricanes, didn't they?
I must admit, I don't know that well. I'm used to this on the Hurricane. I haven't got a clue. But as soon as we're through these and we get the bandsaw on it, it'll be lovely. It'll just be like any other Tamiya kit. Look, I've even broke my saw trying to get this thing off. Right, hold on, I think we can probably make a small incision here. a brand new blade in this thing as well. Right, we won't be needing that bit.
It says he's got them from the Legato 122nd post-war kit. I didn't even know they used Hurricanes post-war, not the RAF only. They did.
Parse.
You need to keep the runners, Phil, because you'll be able to make some quality sprue goo with all that plastic.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll be bottling it up and flogging it.
William says, "How are you going to make the refueling baskets?"
Yeah, we will. We'll be doing that. I think I'm probably going to do it in plasticard. I'll use little, very, very thin plasticard for the vanes, and we'll make them up. We're only going to need 2, because I'm only going to have 2 drogues out the back of this one. So yes, that's the plan with it. And then obviously Andy doesn't know it yet, but he's got to build something, as have all the others got to do, to refuel off the back of this.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more than that actually.
So
Yeah, I had a look. I'm going to do a Phantom.
yeah, I've got reference photos of this particular one that I'm doing with phantoms hanging off the back of it. So
I was thinking of the F109.
a what?
Of a Panther 4.
Panther 4.
Yeah, so we need Buccaneers, Lightnings, and anything else.
Chris said Phantoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked the Airfix kit. It comes with a refueling probe, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we're struggling with. Is a lot of the kits don't have refueling probes with them.
No. Actually, if I remember rightly, the Revell Victor, sorry, Matchbox Victor, that comes with actually the baskets and the refueling pipes out or in. So I don't know if the Airfix new one does. If it comes with it.
Yeah, my first thought was that.
Yeah, could do.
It might be a bit big though.
Well, no, make a good display with mine at the front with your tank in that. It'd be fine.
I was thinking of doing a Vulcan.
Yes. That'll do. We might need a bigger table at Telford.
Yeah. Graham said Phantoms, Buccaneers, Harriers, Jags, Lightning.
To be honest, I've actually got some really nice reference shots of this particular one that I'll be doing, and it's even got Hornets hanging off the back of it, a lot of US stuff as well. So you could, anything with a basket of that ilk can fit into this one. So that's the nice thing with it.
Yeah, because I remember matey that does Fighter Pilots podcast.
Yeah,
He was an F-18 pilot, wasn't it?
yeah.
And
Mr. Jello.
Well, he used to say he used to refuel off of Nimrods,
Yeah, yeah. Don't think so.
but he obviously meant the BC-10.
Yeah, it meant the BC-10. Or the would have been, I suppose, his part. Yeah, well, I don't know. Would he? If it was Jello, because it might have been before his time. I don't know. I suppose when did they retire them? They were down in Gulf 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's been going longer than we think, really.
Yeah, because I think he's been retired a while, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yes. I must admit, I do like the old Fighter Pilot podcast. If no one's seen it, I highly recommend it. And also he flies DCS as well, which is always quite good. Him and Mover.
Yeah, I've seen Mover flying.
It was
Round
actually on one of
his-
our servers a couple of months ago. Right, well, I'm not going to cut any more off because clearly I need to show some on proper film. But the bits I need, I think, with it, luckily we don't need gear because that's crap. So there we go, just some small little clean-up required. It'll be fine. A bit of flash on here. face it, it's just going to need a little bit of filling here and there.
You're not far off a vac form kit, let's face it, are you?
No. To be honest, you know, like I've said before, it could be worse. It could be vac form, because I hate vac form. But, you know, I think once the parts are together, it'll be fine. This is awful, isn't it? My problem is I've got these huge cracks running through my wings, and it goes through, so I'm going to have to sort them out, sand them in, fill it, and then, I don't know, it'll probably be a super glue job, but that crack doesn't actually go all the way through, but this one does.
Back it with some plastic card.
Yeah, I'm probably going to reinforce it. To be honest, my plan is I'm actually going to pin it with some brass rod for the wings to go into, so it's got a proper good solid feel. The only saving grace with this kit, it's not very heavy. This plastic isn't as heavy as I thought it was. Now it's off the sprue. I have visions of these wings being really heavy and, like, you know, deforming, and I thought about actually having the brass rod coming out a good length into the wing, but I don't think it will need to come that far through now. But we'll have to make up some formers for the brass rod to sit into. But yes, if you see this, it's got the paw marks. Where are we? We want me loose on the moldlet. You see, there's like a river effect of lumps. So yes, so it's nice. It has got a few little bits. It's got some bit of bubbling and damage in the wing bits, but it's got detail. That's what I was more interested in, because we can rivet this and it'd be absolutely fine.
It is injection molded, isn't it?
Almost. I think it's just injection molded into stone instead of steel. That's the problem.
Low pressure or something, not?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's not under as much pressure as a proper manufacturer, shall we say. It's low injection molding, I think. So, because the thing is, I think this is very crude tooling on the insides, if you know what I mean. So that's what it actually is. But generally, I think, you know, the whole point to this is it's slightly better than vac form because the details are crisper.
Yeah.
So you could say, look, it's not as good. And yes, it has got short shots all over it, but this is all par for the cause, really. It's what we'll all be doing. So, but this detail's in here. Christ, is that? It's another bloody cracky thing in it. Few cracks. But generally, when you look at the parts, you know, once it's been polished up, I think, and riveted and whatnot, it'll be all right. It just needs to have a little bit more detail put in. And obviously it's got a few faults with the kits and various things, but at least they put like an R in it. You know, that's the right engine.
Have you tried gluing any of the sprue together yet? See if it actually does.
No, I haven't tried that bit yet. I think that's actually some type of locating pin, maybe, which I wasn't expecting. The left. That's the left. Where's the other right then? Oh no, perhaps it's not. I don't know, because that's not even tall enough to be a locating pin. I have no idea what that is. It will just get sanded off. It's going to go on the belt sander, to be honest. It's going to need to. But I think by the time we get the basics all in there, and then we do the clean up and putty it and sort it all out, it should be absolutely fine. I think it's just going to be one of those. Yeah. Don't worry about it, everyone. It'll be fine. Just needs a little bit of TLC. It'll be absolutely fine. Right, so we just do the last few down here, and then we're going to have to split, I think, guys, because Matt's gone already. Probably he's left his camera on. Where are we? There's some new kits coming out depicting Russian cars. Oh look, they're doing a Lada and a ZAZ965A. Matt will need these. Models in resin and RPG models who released the Phalanx and released the Russian Ural 6.3 Typhoon and everything else. Oh well, that should be quite interesting. Matt will want those. Look, Matt's back almost. He's almost moving. No, he's gone again. In September, there's a Shelf of Doom. Can I finish my Tamiya 1 second I started 3 years ago, and it wasn't good enough then. to do it justice. Yes, you can start anything you like. Or finish anything you like. The whole point is Shelf of Doom is a good way of us all just getting rid of the stuff that's been stalled. Whose kit is the Eddard Lysander?
Gavia's.
Who?
Gavia.
Gavia? Cool.
148 scale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Gavia.
It's fairly oldish one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last question then for today is from Edwin. He says, hi guys, going to start building the Model Collector B2A Spirit. What colour would you advise for the RAM panels? I think the instructions are very poor. Keep up the good work and stay safe. To be honest, with all stuff like this, is reference. Look at references, pick one that you like, because they will all be different. They're all slightly different shades and weather. Because of the stealth jets, they all pick up, because of the RAM material that's used is extremely porous, so they all weather at different rates. So your best bet is to get some references or just some photos off the net or whatever you want to do of a particular one and go for that. Because with those things, they are all at various different weathers. Some of them look very blue, some of them look very grey, some of them look black. So it is a case of finding one that works for you, I would say. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes.
And what does Matt think? Or is he stuck?
He's stuck.
Right, okay, so I think we're pretty much done there. Everybody's good in there. So yes. Right, okay then guys, I think we'll call it quits because Matt's stuck. And I'm up extremely early in the morning because I think the other half's gone to bed because she is up very early in the morning. Oh, hello. He's dropped out and he's now been cut in half. So look, he's done a bunk. Right, okay, and on that note, because Andy's now got a slightly bigger head on his shoulders, we'll leave it right there. So thank you for joining us in this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. We'll be back with you on Monday afternoon if you'd like to join in then and see us then. Also, obviously, the next part of this little lady will be up with you on Monday for the members to watch part 2. So I'll put that up first thing in the morning so you guys can catch up with that one on there as well. And then obviously next week we'll be cleaning up, starting work, preparing on this. We'll obviously get the B17 into primer as well. We'll get it glazing done, all the other bits and pieces finished onto it, get it over to the spray bay, and then this thing can take over here and that'll be working over there. So till later everybody, happy modelling, good night, take care of each other and stay safe. Bye.
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 Here we go.